presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
A day that started out so bleak ended beautifully with the Indians' 10th walk-off winner of the season by the birthday boy Jose Ramirez. It was a big win for the Tribe, decreasing their magic number down to 7, and a tough blow to the Tigers' fleeting playoff hopes. Today offers a chance for the Indians to put two hands on the wheel as they drive toward a Central Division title. Next on Sports Time Ohio. A beautiful Sunday afternoon at the ballpark, and today all smiles for Indians fans as the Indians go for a sweep of the Tigers here at Progressive Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. To say yesterday's win over Detroit was conventional would be a gross understatement, but they found a way to win. Unfortunately, there was a big loss incurred because Carlos Carrasco's season is over.
Well, it's unfortunate. If you remember earlier in the year, he was lost in a Tiger game for 5 weeks because of a leg groin muscle, and now it's a fractured right hand. He will be out for the season, and it's unbelievable. What a blow to the Indians right there. But their bullpen came on and did a tremendous job. 10 innings, they end up holding on and getting the win, and then they win it in walk-off fashion because the birthday boy Jose Ramirez gets his second walk-off in the 10th inning. The Indians beat him 1-0, and boy, what a year they have had against the Detroit Tigers. It's been nonstop, and you can see in the division, 20 games over, their magic number is 7, and they have dominated the Detroit Tigers this year.
Trevor Bauer will get the start for the Indians here this afternoon. I don't know that there's any added pressure for Trevor, but certainly from a fan standpoint, you look at it, the only guys left standing now are Kluber and Trevor Bauer, and then you've got Josh Tomlin and Mike Clevenger.
Well, Trevor Bauer, though, has pitched twice against the Tigers this year, and he has a win in both games. The first time he came in relief of Carrasco when he was hurt. The second time was a start, so he is 2-0. You can see his ERA is 5, but he stepped up to, for the pitch big against the Tigers. And look at the domination for the Indians this year. You look at those numbers, and it's hard to believe, but we keep showing them time and time again. They have outscored the Tigers 33-2 in the first 3 innings of the ball game, and it's been the same MO. Get a lead early, turn it over to your pitching staff, and hold on and win it.
Detroit had to be feeling when they left the ballpark last night, if we can't beat the Indians when their starter doesn't even report an out, how can we beat them? Well, the Indians go for the sweep this afternoon, try to knock that magic number down again. And when we come back, we'll have today's first pitch, plus Andre Knott will have the latest on what the Tribe plans to do now without Carlos Carrasco. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Studio here in downtown Cleveland, I'm Ashley Collins. The Indians now hold an 8-game advantage over Detroit in the AL Central standings, and we're getting closer to postseason play, and the wild card race is heating up. The Orioles are 3 games behind the Red Sox in the East and are tied with Toronto at the top of those wild card standings, 3 games clear of Detroit, Houston, and Seattle, and the Rangers leading the Tribe by a game and a half in that race for home field advantage in the American League. The Orioles are in action today, so we'll keep you updated on that and a couple others. Now we'll send it back out to Progressive Field with Matt and Rick.
Thank you, Ashley. Partly cloudy skies, but otherwise a beautiful afternoon for baseball as the Indians and the Tigers wrap up this series. But it won't be long before they lock horns again, because after the Indians wrap up this homestand next weekend, they go to Detroit for a 4-game series. By then, however, it could be a moot point for Brad Ausmus and his club, because they have just not been able to beat the Indians. Tribe has won 13 of 14 on the year. Big story yesterday, of course, Carlos Carrasco knocked out 2 pitches into the game and his season over after suffering a fracture to his pitching hand. So what do we do now? For the answers, let's go downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, I think the word adversity would sit very well with the Cleveland Indians in 2016. If you go all the way back to spring training, most of the questions day in and day out were about when Michael Brantley would play. He's only played 11 games, and the Indians have found a way to be the 3rd highest scoring offense in baseball. Now they must deal with the Carlos Carrasco situation along with Danny Salazar. In today's Hear Right Sounds of the Game, here's Terry Francona talking about how they feel they can overcome.
It hurts, but you know, it'll make this more challenging, what we're trying to do. But at the same time, when we do it, I think it'll feel all that much better. So, you know, it's certainly, like I said, it's another challenge, but we feel like we'll figure it out.
And that is exactly how the Indians feel like they'll go into the rest of the season. They will figure it out. And it'll start with the guy on the mound today, and Trevor Bauer. And when you talk to Trevor and you're around Trevor, he looks forward to these types of moments. He's a little quirky. He's a little different. But he likes proving people wrong. He's scoffed and been mad at people thinking that he wouldn't be a part of the pitching rotation if this team made it into the playoffs. He's still mad and frustrated about his last start. Matter of fact, I think he's unhappy that the guy sitting up next to you, Matt, said he ran out of gas. He says he's got plenty of gas left. He's ready to take advantage of this situation and show not only Cleveland, but all of baseball that he can be one of the best pitchers in baseball when his stuff is together. And he feels he's at the best point of the season. Curveball, fastball use was the best he's had all season long, and he hopes he can carry it throughout the rest of this season.
Andre, I thought it was very interesting, Terry Francona's choice of words. He didn't say if we get it done, but when we get it done, it will be all the more satisfying.
He said that to this team. They've had a couple deep conversations. You can go back to the day they lost that 14-game winning streak in Toronto. He told his team, we have the possibility and chance to be special. Don't ever forget that.
Well, we'll see how they fare today against the Tigers in the series finale. The Indians have taken the field behind Trevor Bauer, and that'll give us a chance to take a look at Brad Ausmus' starting lineup for Detroit, brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Ian Kinsler will lead it off. Cameron Maybin hitless in the series, batting 6th. Miguel Cabrera bats 3rd. Victor Martinez cleanup. J.D. Martinez 5th. Those 3 hitters have been held relatively in check. The 3 have combined for just 4 hits in the series so far. Justin Upton will hit 6th, then it's Eric Ibar at 3rd base, with James McCann batting 8th and Iglesias, the shortstop, batting 9th.
And today's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, Trevor Bauer for the Indians. He is 11-7 and a .406 earned run average. In his last start, he did have some of the best stuff he had all year long as far as stuff-wise goes. You know, he surrendered 5 of the 6 runs in that 6th inning. After a leadoff walk, they had 3 straight singles, and for whatever reason, they just continued to have a big inning, and that ended his day, and his start ended up in a loss. The Indians got beat 8-1. He's 2-0 against the Tigers this year, 1 coming out of the bullpen, 1 as a starting pitcher, and in his career, he is 4-2 against the Tigers. Let's set the defense for you. It is brought to you by Jeep, and it looks like this. In the outfield is going to be Geyer in left, Davis at center, Almonte over in right, Ramirez at 3rd, Lindor at short, Kipnis is at 2nd, Santana at 1st, with Jimenez doing the catching.
Jordan Baker has the plate this afternoon. Pat Hoberg is at first. Tim Timmons second. Crew chief Mike Everett down at third. And we're ready to go. Ian Kinsler stands in. And Trevor Bauer looking for his 12th win on the year. And a pop-up on the first pitch. Foul to the dugout goes Santana, but can't get to it. .76 degrees, our game time temperature. Some of the humidity that we had the last couple of days is kind of gone. Just about ideal. Here's the pitch and a curveball banged to third. Jose Ramirez with a perfect throw, one down. Keys to the game are courtesy of Wayside Furniture. And for the Indians, a win today all but puts a dagger in the Tigers' hopes in the Central. And for Trevor Bauer, can he give the bullpen a break? They had to work 9 scoreless innings, actually 10 scoreless innings, 9 pitchers combined yesterday for Cleveland.
We've been saying that a lot in the last week or 10 days. Hey, bullpen needs a break, but they seem to get better and better every time they are challenged.
It's a funny thing about bullpens. They tend to play better, pitch better when they've got more work. Ramirez tried to make a spectacular play, and I'll tell you what, everybody in the stadium probably gasped when that pitch went right back at Bauer. He says he's fine. It's the last thing you want to see happen again.
It looked like it went off one of his legs. He's going to follow through, maybe, and hit it. And it wasn't a direct hit. And it's something like Bauer could not catch, but Ramirez makes it as close as he could, and Maben beats it out. It'll go as an infield single.
So 1 on 1 out for Miguel Cabrera. Yesterday, when the Indians had a phenomenal performance from their bullpen, Miguel Cabrera came up late in the game against Andrew Miller. And Cabrera, very little argument that he is the best hitter in the game. And when Miller struck him out, Cabrera walked back to the dugout and he mouthed the words, not wow, but whoa. And that's about as big an endorsement as you could ever hope to have as a pitcher. Because there aren't many guys that can dispatch Miguel Cabrera as easily as Andrew Miller did last night.
No, but the Indians have done a heck of a job this year against him. He's hitting just .222. He's 10 for 45 with 3 RBIs. And the way he's hit the Indians before in the past, it's been a remarkable turnaround, an adjustment that they have made as a pitching staff this year on this guy and the middle part of the lineup.
Now the 1-1. Oh, up and in, he nailed him. And now the Tigers have 2 on with 1 out, and Cabrera wincing as that ball caught him on the hand or wrist.
Well, he's going up and in, and watch the bottom hand. It looked like it caught him on the wrist, the left wrist, or part of the hand. Yeah, right. That bottom hand. And that's part of the bat. And, you know, there's not a lot of give right there when that hand is on the bat. So I'm sure it's stinging right about now. The trainer, Osmus, they're out there taking a look at it. Look at they're hitting that baby finger.
I wonder, though, if it's better to have a bat in your hand when you get hit by a pitch as opposed to Carrasco, who got hit with an open hand yesterday. Obviously, it didn't work out well for Carlos. He suffered the non-displaced fracture, and he got hit almost in the same general area as Miguel Cabrera did.
You know, anytime you're hitting the hand, it's just it's a luck thing, because there's so many little bones in that hand that something could happen to. So he looks like he's going to be okay. He'll take first base. They'll have runners at first and second on the hit by pitch.
Now Victor Martinez with 2 on and 1 out, and he takes low, ball 1. There may be some folks who are wondering, because you hear so many medical terms now with regards to sports, and they seem to be more complicated maybe than they need to be, but that's just the general nature of trying to give out the information exactly as it is relayed medically. But a non-displaced fracture is really just a basic fracture. It's just, you know, there's a fracture. There's a fracture in the bone, as opposed to a displaced fracture, which is ugly. That's the one you don't want to have. That's where something is completely out of alignment, and then you may need screws or something else to put it kind of back together.
Yeah, surgery.
2-0 pitch, line right up the middle. Kipnis on the backhand, can't get to it. He does flip it to Lindor, and they still turn a double play. Victor Martinez running to first like sands through an hourglass, and that enables Kipnis and Lindor to team up for an inning-ending double play. And we'll look at the starting 9 for Terry Francona, presented by Progressive. Rajai Davis going to lead it off. Jason Kipnis with 4 hits in the series, including a pair of doubles. Then Francisco Lindor. Mike Napoli, who homered Friday night, leading the Indians to a series opening win. Carlos Santana is 5th. Jose Ramirez, the game winner last night, in the 10th. And it's Brandon Guyer, Abe Almonte, and Chris Jimenez.
And today's Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher, it'll be Daniel Norris for the Tigers. On the year, he's 2-2, 381. He has started 2 games in his career against the Indians, both coming in this ballpark. He does not have a win or a loss, a 3.60 ERA. Last time he pitched against them July 4th, as I said, right here in this ballpark.
Rajai Davis leading off and taking a strike.
Norris did start 14 games in Toledo this year, which is AAA. He had a 5-7 record and a 4.54 ERA.
And a strike is called. Rajay came into the ball game last night as a pinch runner. Ended up with his 39th and 40th stolen bases of the year. Grounded to third, right at Eric Ibar. One away.
Let's set that Tigers defense now that we have an opportunity. Behind Norris this afternoon, it looks like this. In the outfield, it's Upton, Maben, and Martinez. On the infield, it's Ibar, Iglesias, Kinsler, and Cabrera, with McCann doing the catching.
That'll bring up Jason Kipnis. In there for a strike to Jason Kipnis. And the count is 0-1. Now the 0-1. Daniel Norris delivers, and Kipnis with a high fly ball. Center field. Maben is there and makes the grab in the middle of the track. 2 down. Two down, bases empty, and Francisco Lindor to the plate. Frankie trying to break loose from a 3 for 29 slump at the plate. Even with that, he's still, in the month of September, still batting .295.
Yeah, one thing that's gone down for Frankie, I mean, even though it's still consistent, don't get me wrong, is the batting average from this side of the plate. He's still over 300. He's at 301, but 317 from the left side. And you remember, for so long, most of the year, he was way higher from the right side, but they've been seeing a lot of left-handers recently.
In the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Look, slumps come in all different shapes and sizes, but the one thing it has seemed at times, when there are runners in scoring position and Lindor is at the plate, he wants so badly to drive those runs in. Maybe he's gotten a little too aggressive at times, and I wonder if that's filtered in some of his non-runner in scoring position at bats as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens throughout the course of the year. When you're an everyday guy, you go through different cycles. But he's been consistent from both sides of the plate all year long.
Upstairs and a full count. Now the payoff pitch. A foul back yesterday in that 10th inning. Lindor was up in a kind of a similar spot, worked the count, and he was able to lay off a borderline pitch and draw the walk that kept the pressure on the Detroit pitching staff, and that eventually led to Jose Ramirez winning the game. After Lindor walked, they intentionally walked Napoli. Fly ball to left. Back goes Upton. And he'll make the catch on the warning track. So a couple of loud outs in the first, but no blood drawn on either side. We're scoreless after 1.
You can stay connected all season with radio broadcast, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
And we go to the second inning with no score and J.D. Martinez to lead off for Detroit. And a fastball in there for strike one. Grounded foul. And Bauer puts Martinez in the hole, 0-2.
Again, trying to get a feel for that curveball early in the game. That really takes hitters off of his high fastball.
Shot it to right. And Abe Almonte plays it on a hop. First time the Tigers get their leadoff man aboard here in the second.
Well, he likes that ball away, and JD put a really good swing on a changeup down and away. See, he stayed on it beautifully, kept his head right down in, looking at it all the way. Very good swing, and there you'll see the grip on that changeup. It was away, and second hit now for the Tigers with a leadoff single here.
Upton broke his bat. Lindor gives way to Ramirez, who makes the catch. Oh, I love it. One down. And our Quicken Loans rocket arm shows you that Corey Kluber is the Indians strikeout leader. Manny Salazar, Carlos Carrasco, Trevor Bauer all bunched pretty close together. Look at that. Most in the American League among starting staffs. Eric Ibar taking, that's a called strike.
Ibar playing third base today.
Yeah, Andrew Romine had been filling in there for Castellanos in the first two games of the series. Ibar started at short Friday night, did not play yesterday, and back in there at third today. He's that type of player. He can fill in just about anywhere.
Well, he could. He is one of those guys, but it's the first time we've seen him play third base, even when he was with the Angels. And then again, he went down to Atlanta.
A rocket shot into right field, and Ibar has a base hit. Stopping at second is Martinez. So the Tigers with a couple of good rips.
Again, second straight inning. They've got first and second, just one out, and there's a fastball that was middle of the plate right there. It was about belt high, and Ibar gets on top of it, smokes it into right field. So 3 hits already for the Tigers.
James McCann, the Tigers catcher, 0 for 4 in the series. Came in late last night after Brad Osma's pinch hit for Saltalamacchia, who caught Verlander, and boy, Verlander was terrific yesterday. Better than we've seen him at all this year. That's got to be somewhat discouraging as a starting pitcher, knowing that you can only control your part of the game, but to go out and pitch as well as he did, and to see the other starter go out 2 pitches into the game and your team can't get a run off an entire bullpen.
Yeah,
But sometimes that happens.
Starter's job is to keep your team right there, give them a chance to win. He certainly did that yesterday, and it's been a long time since he beat the Indians. You got to go back to, what, April of 2014.
Waved at an off-speed pitch. I didn't hear any of his post-game comments, Rick, but just watching at home, it seemed to me that Verlander made a concerted effort to say, all right, I'm not going to let Napoli beat me, and I'll pitch around. I'm not going to let Lindor get a pitch to hit here. I'll pitch it. Whenever there was a possibility to pitch around a hitter, he did. And when he had to attack somebody, he made quality pitches. So the walk number was high, but it almost felt like he did it on purpose.
Very well could have. The way they have roughed him up a few times this year.
Struck him out looking. Bauer gets his first punch out. 2 down in the inning.
Take a look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's a fastball. He started him off cutter, went with a breaking ball, and then throws the fastball right there by him. So that tells me McCann was looking for an off-speed pitch, and he threw the express right by him.
Big curveball. That's in for a strike. You saw third base coach Dave Clark way out of the coaching box. He's halfway between home plate and third base.
Well, it gives him a read and a little longer look at the situation. But with 2 outs, you know you're going to send your guy from second base. They'll be off and running on the crack of the bat for the most part.
Right back to Bauer. He says thank you very much, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 stranded for Detroit. No score, middle of the second.
Tickets, and you'll get priority access to all postseason games this year, plus opening day, team shop discounts, much more. Visit Indians.com/postseason for full details.
The Indians went 1, 2, 3. Now they come to bat in the second inning with Mike Napoli leading it off. There's a high drive, but a little fouled on the left side. Boy, he hit that mile high. At the distance, I do believe.
He started him off changeup, and then he tries to come in with that fastball, and Napoli ready for it. Again, like you said, way out in front.
Two-strike pitch, down and in. Napoli, so many times this year we've seen him get behind in the count early, only the next thing you know work it full. And here he's worked it back to even at 2-2. He's got a very good eye, and that's first and foremost, but he also has a great understanding that when he gets down on the count, pitchers aren't going to throw him strikes.
Well, they try to make the perfect pitch.
Now once it gets back to even, it might be a little bit of a different story, but he knows 0-2. Very rarely is he going to see a pitch that's in the strike zone. And if you're a pitcher, that's probably really smart, because you don't want to give him anything that he can hurt you with when you're already ahead of him in the count.
Yeah, but there's times where, you know, when you let him back into the count, you're making it a little more dangerous. But with nobody on, this is how you want to face him.
And he threw a good fastball by him. One down. Daniel Norris for a left-hander. He can rush it up there. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. Carlos Santana coming to the plate. 6 straight years now. He's walked 90 or more times. Nobody's done it more than Santana. It's one of those stats we all grew up hearing from our Little League coaches. A walk is as good as a hit. Just doesn't feel that way, though, does it?
No, but you know what? When you can get on base, you see he's not a high average hitter, but he takes his walk, so his on base percentage is always so much better because he's finding a way to get there.
That one went foul up the first baseline. The contrast for Santana is that he can be so patient, yet in run scoring situations, not as much.
Right. The patience goes out the window. He wants to try to drive him home, maybe to a detriment.
A good piece of hitting right there as he socks it down into the left field corner. He'll go to second with a 1-out double. That's his 25th two-bagger of the year.
He'll pick down a fastball. The Indians second in the league in doubles now. They have 284 as a team, and that ball caught a little too much of the plate. And Santana took advantage of it to drill it down into the corner. So the Indians' first hit, they will now have an opportunity to get on the board first.
Jose Ramirez. He was the hero last night for Cleveland. Of all the ways that game could have ended, a bases loaded walk, a sac fly, I thought it was some way just that it ended the way it did, and that he's been so good in that category all season long.
Yeah.
And he banged one right back up the middle in the center field for a game-winning hit.
On his birthday, mind.
On his
24th birthday.
Right.
He sure did. That was a great present for him.
2-0.
But when you're having the kind of year that Jose's having, things like that, you know, you're up in situations like that, and they just continue to build on that. He's been great for him this year.
And that ball he hit, just a tough pitch. It was down. It was almost on the ground.
Right, but he got it right in the perfect spot. What? It was a CNI base hit that got through.
But that also speaks to how it's hard to throw a ball by him. You know, he went, what, 37 plate appearances without a swing and a miss.
Yeah, he finds a way to get some wood on the baseball.
And there's a line drive to center, but it's going to hang up, and Maben will make the catch. Hit it hard, but hit it right at the center fielder. 2 down. Our great clip of the game from last night. Here it is again. Look at that pitch. It was almost in the dirt.
I know, a ground ball that gets through. But that goes to show you that ball he just hit, he hit so much better. But this one, he's celebrating because it got through, gives them the RBI and a 1-0 win. For the Indians, their 11th shutout on the year. And this came in a different fashion from the bullpen. 10 innings of relief work. What a job.
I thought Cody Anderson pitched really well out of the bullpen. He just, I mean, his fastball looked like it had some extra life. Changeup, as always, we know, is good. And it sounds like Cody Anderson, when we get to that point in the rotation, wherever that spot turns up again, where they're going to need that number 5 starter. Terry Francona saying that, look, we don't have anybody stretched out enough to just say, okay, you're going to start.
Right.
We'll piece it together, but it might be Cody Anderson who gets an opportunity to start that game, and maybe he goes a couple, 3 innings at most, and then you just fall in after that and hope you get another performance like you did yesterday.
Right. Well, it makes sense. They're really limited on what they can do when it comes to starters.
I think Hosey changed his hair color again, by the way. It went from orange. Now it's like gold. Goldfinger. He's 007. Geyer swings and mixes. Let's go down to Andre, who may have more of an update on the plan for that 5th starting spot.
The plan is it's going to be Cody Anderson, as you said. He's going to start on Saturday. Now, as you said, he won't go deep in the game. It'll be a little bit like Mike Clevenger the first time he came back out of the bullpen to go into the rotation. But that's how they're going to do it. Tomlin will start here in a couple days, and they're going to go with that. And with the Hosey's hair, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really know if he knows what color it's supposed to be at this point in time.
And nor does he care, I think.
No.
Upstairs 2-2. It definitely doesn't have the orange tint to it, though, Andre. You know, deep pile shag right there, 70s.
I can tell you, Eric Ibar over here at third base is trying to figure it out too. He's asked him 3 times, "What is that?" And Hosey just keeps smiling at him.
Yeah. He's a one of a kind. Luckily, he's our one of a kind. The 2-2. Geyer shoots one to center, dropping. Maben won't get there. Indians take the lead. Santana scores. Geyer trying to go for 2. Hustles in. Safe. I believe that'll be a single and then an error on Maben, though it's a tough error because he kind of got himself into a spot where it was tough to stop that ball.
I want to see if he commits and he's going to go try to make the play, or he just felt he wasn't going to get there. And he sort of, you know, that was a tough play. He wasn't sure he was going to get there, but he didn't dive for it or anything. But once you commit, if you're going to come in, you got to really do it. It makes it a tough play when you stop like he did to keep that ball in front of you. So I think it's going to be a hit, a single, and an error on Maben.
That allows Geyer to get into scoring position. And now Abraham Almonte with an RBI chance. In the dirt. And it is officially a single and an error on the center fielder Maben.
It's one of those plays as an outfielder, once you start and you come in, it was one of those plays you have to keep coming. Yeah, you know, and it's a tough decision sometimes, but the one he made, he had to hold up and the ball deflected off his body, so that's where the error comes in.
In a way, he's fortunate at least he got a piece of his body on the ball, otherwise he could still be chasing.
Right.
Almonte takes low 2-0.
You watch, and I think if he continues through the baseball, he can at least slap and try and keep it in front of him. But when you stop, it's so close. He still might not have caught the ball had he went in to do it, but I think it would have been an easier play for him because it would have been a short hop instead of a longer hop where he's got to try and knock it down.
On the infield, say at third base, we would say he let the ball play him, and that's really what Maven did there. Bat went flying, so did the ball. Opposite directions, both out of play. His bat ended up in the front row, and a young fan, I think, ends up the beneficiary.
Look at the smile and the look. Please don't take it.
How could you take it away? Are you kidding me? That
They're
face?
not taking it away.
You can't take
Look
it
at her.
away
He's
from
smiling
her.
about it. That's my bat.
And she will get to take that home. What a souvenir for that young lady.
Yeah, great.
Here, have a hot dog, kid.
Now she wants a baseball. She's got the bat.
Come on, Dad.
Yeah, forget the hot dog.
Two and one, meanwhile, to count on Almonte. And he softly lines one into right field, a base hit coming around third. Dyer will try to score. Martinez throw to the plate. Safe.
Couple of clutch base hits for the Indians behind Geyer, and now Almonte with 2 outs to get to Norris. And that was a stroke. Wasn't hit all that hard, but beautifully placed. The soft liner, it was up though. Change up, and that made it easy for him to take it the other way. Might have went off the end of the bat, but with 2 outs, you're off and running. So they've got 2 on the board here. 3 hits in the inning. And again, the Indians playing from in front against the Tigers.
Redbird said the Indians had gone 6 straight games without a 2-out run, and now they do it on back-to-back hitters. And a pitching coach, Rich Doobie, out to talk with Daniel Norris, who surrendered 2 runs on 3 hits in the inning. And Chris Jimenez will be the batter. He struck out Napoli, but then Santana doubled. Ramirez hit a ball right on the screws and lined out the center. And then back-to-back 2-out RBI hits by Geyer and now Almonte. Chris Jimenez, he gets a chance to bat, trying to snap an 0 for 9 at the plate. Good off-speed pitch, and it's in there for a strike. High, deep, down the line, slicing foul. Almost hit that one down into the district.
Yeah, that might have had the distance. It just it was slicing away from the pole.
Upstairs with a fastball. And it's 1-2. despite the current 0 for 9, Chris Jimenez has 9 hits in his last 17 games played, including 3 doubles and 2 homers.
Time to wish some happy birthdays to Don Leatherman of Wadsworth, who is 93. Happy 92nd to World War II vet Bill Kloss. Congratulations to Bill and Jan Stutz of Groveport, 46th wedding anniversary.
Runner goes, and pitch down low from his knees to throw, nowhere near the bag, and a steal for Almonte, his 8th.
Well, with 2 strikes, they take off and go on first movement. He had a very good jump, and McCann couldn't do anything. He had to throw it from his knees. That ball was down and short hopped into the dirt. Not an easy pitch to throw on. So Almonte gets his 4th stolen base. The Indians continue. That's 124 as a team. They lead the league. Got to go back to 1999. And 147.
Now Almonte goes for 3rd, but Jimenez strikes out and the inning is over. Indians score 2 on back-to-back 2-out RBI hits. 2-0 drive after 2.
Told you she was holding out for a baseball.
That girl. Great negotiator she is. And a reminder, if you're enjoying a cold one on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Top of the order for Detroit here in inning number 3. Ian Kinsler to lead it off.
Trevor Bauer, 8 of 9 first pitch strikes. First time through the lineup. Really nice job. They're 3 for 8 are the Tigers.
Bauer drops his glove. He feels sick about it. You can tell immediately. And Kinsler, luckily, still on his feet. But boy, they're going to make sure he's okay before he's allowed to continue, if he can at all.
Well, you see Jimenez smiling, so he must have said something to make him feel like he's A-okay. But there's a pitch that got away from Bauer, and I got to tell you something. That was a wicked sound.
It sounded like he hit it with the bat. That's the kind of.
That's the second guy now that's been hit by Bauer. Cabrera, remember, got it in the first inning in the hand. His left hand, the top of it. A couple of tests right now for Kinsler.
Normally, pitchers are pretty stoic on the mound, even if they hit a guy and the guy appears to be hurt. Bauer seems to be pretty shaken by this, which A, tells you it's not intentional, but B, it also tells you it unnerved him a little bit.
Well, out comes Mickey Callaway. He's going to have a talk with him as Kinsler. Great thing, Kinsler going to first base, but listen. Ouch. Man, he couldn't get out of the way. Looked like it caught him, you know, off the back part of the helmet.
Watch where the ball ends up.
Yeah, it popped up, man. It went straight up in the air.
Way out of play. There's a lot of protocol in place now that never was before. Obviously, Kinsler passed it, which is why he remains in the game. I'll tell you, he didn't look too sure of himself as he was going down to first base. Cameron Maben, an infield single, his first time up, that hit Bauer on its way back through the middle. So Bauer's hit 2 Tiger batters. He's had a ball hit him on the leg and another line drive back to him that he caught. And all of this a little more than 24 hours after Carlos Carrasco was hit on a line drive back through the box that cost him the rest of this season. Hot out of play to the right. Just off the outside corner. 2-2. Here's your fastball that's a teaser.
Yeah, Indiana Wesleyan University pitch tracker, just a bit outside.
Sometimes I don't know how with 2 strikes those guys can take that pitch, but
how good the hitters are, man. They know that it's all off the plate.
That's way outside. And a full count. I like the idea. Maybe the execution could have been a little better. Sometimes you test a guy's true patience. He took that pitch before. If you come back and make that exact same pitch again, maybe you get him to chase, but it was a little bit wider that time. 3-2, same spot, same result, and he walks him. And now the Tigers are set up with their first 2 aboard.
Well, Trevor has drilled 2 Tigers today. The first one was Cabrera back in the first inning, got him on the left hand. And then this one right there in the head to Ian Kinsler. This is the 3rd inning now that the Tigers have had 2 runners aboard. 3rd straight. Bauer been able to pitch around it in the first two, but he's going through the middle part of the lineup this time.
This is how you don't want to have to face Miguel Cabrera. Strokes it to right field. That'll be a base hit. And they're loaded up. Cabrera tried to make a forced throw to second, but may have been easily there in time. They're loaded, nobody out.
Well, they wanted that ball in and didn't get it there. You watch where Jimenez is sitting. He's on the inside part of the plate, and he has to reach out. And Cabrera just lines a single to right. So Tigers in business here, bases loaded, nobody out. See that? That ball just stayed out over the plate. Cabrera, he could do that in his sleep. Take a ball to right field when you're throwing him away like that. So it's the 4th hit now for Detroit.
Victor Martinez with the bases loaded takes, and that's a fastball in for a strike. Now Victor hit into a double play that ended the first inning. And it hit him. Unbelievable. Martinez, now he's writhing in pain. Another run is in for the Tigers. And chirping from third base as he comes home is Ian Kinsler. Wow, Kinsler really mad. He was barking at Jordan Baker all the way down, and even after he crossed home plate.
Well, that's 3 guys in the first 3 innings. And I'll tell you what, if I'm the Tigers, they got to be upset as well. He's at Cabrera, Martinez, Kinsler.
Well, you're certainly not going to go out and intentionally plunk people when you're ahead in the game.
I didn't say it's intentional, but it's out of control. I don't know what he's doing, man. It's getting a little wild. I don't think the Tigers are going to sit back and take it the way the Indians have beaten them this year. It's a cutter going inside, and he couldn't get out. His leg was straight. It looked like it got him right on the knee, the front knee.
I think he got hit on the exact same spot the other night.
Yeah, you could be right. That's true. Because he had the left knee issues, but you're right. He was hit on the knee the other night.
Yeah, it was in the 6th inning, and I think it was almost the identical spot, which probably makes it feel even worse. Victor helped to his feet. I mean, he went down in a heap. Zach McAllister is up and warming up in the bullpen. Goodness.
Well, he's walked 1. He's hit 3. He's given up 4 hits. But they still have bases loaded. There's nobody out, and they already have 1 man in. So the Tigers looking for a big crooked number in this inning. Victor's out. He's going to jog it off. He looks to be okay now.
At bat now for Detroit, right fielder J.B. Martinez.
Yeah, this is. I'll tell you what. When you're the Tigers, and I think that's why Kinsler, he's just sounding off, saying, "Hey, enough is enough." Whether you're trying to, whether it's intentional or not, as a team, you just don't take it.
Well, the Indians are already in a tough spot injury-wise. They can ill afford to be involved in any sort of bean brawl.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, the bases are still loaded and nobody out. 2-1 Cleveland lead in jeopardy at the moment. J.D. Martinez breaks his bat, and that's out of play. Well, let's go back to Friday night. This was Corey Kluber facing Victor Martinez. Watch where he's hit on the right knee.
Yeah.
And here today, it's almost the exact same spot.
No kidding. Isn't that how it always happens? This time, this one, he did not get up and hobble away from it. I would think that's pretty darn close to the same spot as right.
Outside, 1-1. Cameron Maben at third, Miguel Cabrera at second, Victor Martinez down at first. And that almost got away. 2-1. Swung out and missed. Looked like maybe a little cut fastball, had just enough movement going away.
Well, this was a hard cutter from Bauer. That was up there in 91. You can see it did have a little late movement, but he threw that one really hard for a cutter. Get a look at it. I don't think he did. No, able to hold it up.
Nobody out, bases loaded, payoff pitch. And he strikes him out with a high fastball. One down in the inning. Second strikeout for Bauer.
Well, that time he didn't give him any breathing room. Remember, he got a base hit on a changeup down and away. He gets the full count, throws that high fastball, and gets it by him with a little movement going up and in. That's going to be our Circle K strikeout. So you get the first out. Now a ground ball can get you out of it, which would be unbelievable.
Upton broke his bat, a little soft liner to third his first time up. Cuts and misses here. Time called. Upton's 2 hits came on Friday night, both home runs.
Had 2 pretty good pitches to hit that he was able to get that fastball and hit it deep both times.
Tied him up with a good fastball there. So often the case when you've got a guy like Upton who can hit the ball with power, you don't let him extend those arms. You try to get in on him.
Good pitch there. He started him off cutter away, then ran that fastball in. 2 good pitches. So he's ahead 0-2.
Just off the outside edge. Key spot here early with the bases loaded. And a great backhanded pick by Chris Jimenez.
Yeah, he just slides over to his right, and really a nice job of just picking it. It was the short hop, get the glove over there, and it took that little bounce right into his glove.
That saves you at least a run. Up high with a fastball and another full count. Tigers had 2 on in the first, 2 on in the second. They've got them loaded here in the third. And a run already in. Swung on and missed. He came back with another great fastball and strikes him out.
Well,
you talk about a yin and a yang kind of game for Trevor Bauer, baby. This is it.
Well, you know what? He jumped ahead 0-2. He let him back into the count, and he says, forget about it. I can't walk him, and look at him. He's pumped up. He challenged him with a nice 2-seamer right there, and Upton comes up empty. So back-to-back strikeouts now for Trevor, and an opportunity to get out of the inning.
Eric Ibar to the plate. Now Ibar rifle pitch into right field his first time up. Oh, he almost got hit. Holy mackerel. I thought we had our third of the inning. This didn't miss by much. Often wonder if that ever gets into a pitcher's head, just like a inability to throw a strike. Or
I would think it would, because he's consciously making an effort trying to pitch inside. But I would think you'd have to think about it. If you've already hit 3 guys in the game, and he's come back and he has been able to keep his concentration to get a couple of big outs here. Now he's really has to work because he's down in the count 2-0. I would think that has to affect you a little bit.
And there's a fastball above the belt. Ibar not happy.
You know, when you're a hitter and the pitcher's been all over the place like Bauer has, you're not really going to dig in there because he's right now effectively wild. But I'll tell you what, those guys are looking out there at Detroit saying, what's going on? You better reel it in.
Now the 2-1. And he does it again. So almost the same pitch. 1 run is in. Cabrera's going to try to score as well. He ran through his stop sign and he scores anyway.
Yeah, he did run through the stop sign. And you know what? I don't know if Almonte held the ball an extra. He had him. I think he had a great shot at him. Jimenez never caught the ball. And Cabrera just ran right through Clark's stop sign. And they end up taking the lead with a 2-out base hit by Ibar. Here it comes. They kick the bat out of the way. Now watch. They see the stop sign? He double clutched.
Way too long, yeah.
He double clutched out there. He was going to throw it to second thinking they were going to hold him up. He saw, I think, Clark hold him up, and Cabrera just came in to score. So that was a heads-up play by him, and Almonte got caught holding the baseball.
So it's now 3-2 Detroit on the 2-out, 2-run single by Ibar, who's 2 for 3 now. He goes to second on the throw home. It's been a long inning for Bauer.
Well, it's been a long 3 innings for Bauer. They've had 2 base runners in the first inning, 2 in the second, and they've had him aboard all inning long here, and he's at 50 pitches.
Only used 9 pitches in the first, only 12 in the second, but here in the third, 30 pitches and climbing. Way outside. 2-1. James McCann was called out on strikes in the second inning with 2 men aboard. Well, this is a key pitch in the at bat because instead of it evening the count, it's now 3-1. That looks like a strike. That's so often the case when you throw this many pitches in an inning. May have glanced that one toward Kipnis, and the inning is over. But Detroit takes advantage of a pair of hit batters and a walk to score 3 in the third and take the lead. Telling Dave Clark, my bad, he feels terrible about what happened in the inning, but the damage done. Detroit scored 3 times, and now the Indians will have to go back to work with the bats. Top of the order coming up.
Now, Bauer's lucky we're not playing a National League team, and he has to hit.
You expect any retribution?
Yes, I do. Somewhere at some point, I certainly do. If not here and in this game, and certainly next week in Detroit.
How about at the first pitch?
There you go. Now there's going to be a warning. There hasn't been a warning issue. This is behind Davis. And absolutely, that's what you have to do. If this guy didn't go out and protect his players, and you're talking about Cabrera, you're talking about Kinsler, you're talking about Victor Martinez, they would have hated him.
If I was Kinsler, I'd say, seriously, that's the best you can do? You can't hit the guy?
Yeah, that happens a lot, these pitchers, man. You know, it's going to go behind him, and there it is. It just misses him, but still. Now there's warnings. Now if he gets drilled, you're going to get a chance of getting thrown out of the ball game.
Well,
he had a free shot.
Yeah. Still has to be deemed by the home plate umpire intentional.
Yeah, true. Well, he knew. Everybody, I think everybody in the ballpark knew that something had to happen.
And a foul back.
If you don't protect your players, then you're in trouble, man. You would have no. You wouldn't be able to go into that clubhouse. And I'm sure they're still a little upset. At least the guys that got hit are.
Missed inside, 3-1.
You know, as a hitter now, you don't worry about it. And I'm talking for both teams. You don't have to worry about that inside part of the plate now. If anybody else gets hit, I would think there's going to be some ejections.
Rajay sends one sky high to left. Playable there for Upton. And now Maben calls him off, and the center fielder comes all the way over for out number 1. Daniel Norris saying, I don't care who catches it, just make sure somebody does. Now Jason Kipnis. Kipnis fly to center his first time up. Norris with a fastball for strike 1. No, he's not going to chase there. 2-1. Outfield for Detroit, shading Kipnis a little bit toward left. And foul straight back.
John Jackson of Marion, Ohio, celebrating his 87th. Happy birthday. He's been a Tribe fan since 1934.
In the dirt. Jason Kipnis on the year, a .358 hitter against the Tigers with 11 runs scored. And a 3-2 count here. He's trying to do some damage. Bring the Indians right back. Down a run. And Norris pulls the string, strikes him out. Third K for the left-hander. 2 down in the inning. Countdown to face-off for the Columbus Blue Jackets home opener. Puck drops on the new season Thursday, October the 13th, so that's less than a month. Nationwide Arena, your home for Blue Jackets hockey. For Fox Sports Ohio, Countdown to face-off presented by Wendy's. Francisco Lindor looks at a ball up and away. Throws a fastball by him. 1-1. Checked, and it's out of play. And somebody made a nice catch.
Well, they had a glove right there. Up in the club seats, high-fiving everywhere.
A 1-2. No chase, and evens the count. Chase that time, inning over. 4 strikeouts for Norris. Indians go in order. 3-2 Detroit. The attorneys at Elk and Elk, Carlos Carrasco gone for the year. He felt absolutely awful.
Yeah, think about it though. Remember the first time he got hurt was in Detroit, covering first base, where he blew that
tore his hamstring
out, missed 5 weeks of the season, come back, and he's getting ready to stay focused for postseason and out for the year.
Seeing eye single by Jose Iglesias to lead off the 4th for Detroit.
For the Tigers, the hitter,
Trevor Bauer, long 3rd inning.
Well,
the Indians went 1-2-3 in the next half, so he's right back out there.
Out of the stretch again. It was after 1 out in the 1st, they got the base hit. He was out of the stretch. They led off the 2nd with a base hit out of the stretch. And boy, it's just been he hit the first guy last inning, and now the leadoff single. So basically been out of the stretch all game long.
A bit outside. Kinsler was drilled by a pitch his last time up, and then he had some pretty short and direct words for Trevor Bauer as he came home from 3rd when Victor Martinez was hit by a pitch that forced him in. Throw it right by him, 1-1. And a 1-1 broke his back. Santana, 1 away. Let's go down to Andre Knott.
Well, as you guys talked about the pitching situation with Carlos Carrasco out, Adam Plutko has been called up. Now, he's not on the 40-man roster, so they're going to have to make a move. He should be getting here, or he is here today. They don't know what he's done in the last week, though, because his minor league season was over about a week ago. They're going to find out exactly what he's done. If he's continued throwing, and I don't know why he would have, they're going to have a simulated game for him throwing tomorrow, or they'll just have him play catch and try to get him ramped up to be able to help the team by midweek.
All right, sounds good. I mean, they've already got a full complement of bullpen pitchers. But given the injuries in the last 10 days with both Salazar and Carrasco gone, they're going to need all the help they can get. A little bit outside. Chopped up the middle. Lindor is there. He'll flip it to Kipnis on to first. Double play ends the inning. Bang, bang play at first, as Lindor had to go to the flip to Kipnis, who then had to turn back and fire on to first. It was very close. Cameron may have been called out by the first base umpire. Will Brad Ausmus come back and challenge?
I think they had him.
I don't know. It looks awfully close. They might want to challenge this one. I think he's safe. Let's see, though, Brad. How about a decision here?
Don't get 30 seconds.
Still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. They've already started the clock, and he says no, thank you. So the countdown clock to the next inning has already begun. We'll be right back. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Mike Napoli to lead off, struck out his only time up. It's outside. 2-0. High pop. This one's back out of play.
Send along a couple more birthday wishes. Aunt Violet. Violet Grove turning 96. Happy birthday to you. Ed Hosier will be 91 from Lakewood. Happy birthday, Ed.
Just above the strike zone. Napoli trying to swat that one onto the home run porch. changed up on him, strikes him out. It's 5 Ks for Norris, including 3 in a row.
Well, watch the game from the corner in right field of the new drink rails out in left. It's the district ticket presented by Sports Time. District tickets are only $13. Include your first drink. Go to Indians.com/district ticket.
Up and away. Santana scorched a double to left and came around to score his first time up. And she's got herself a souvenir. Nice off-speed pitch. He's done a good job of mixing it up.
Well, he's gotten more with that slider. That's one of the few nice sliders I've seen him throw for strikes. He's been trying to go down and in on the right-handers and trying to get him to swing over the top of it.
Down in the dirt, good block. Daniel Norris came over from Toronto in the deadline deal last year that sent David Price to Toronto. He was originally a second-round pick of the Blue Jays, 74th overall, out at Science Hill High School in Johnson City, Tennessee. Santana goes chasing. How about 4 straight strikeouts for Norris? It's almost like they got him the lead and he's come out and been a different pitcher.
Isn't that the truth?
He's got a good fastball, and it's even better if you're going to chase it up high like that.
Up and out of the zone. You're right. That was a full count. Santana swings at a ball.
But he's complimented that fastball with a curve.
Straight change. Now that fastball's in the mid-90s.
Yeah. Jose Ramirez lined out to center. He had a good swing his first time up, but nothing to show for it. Shoots it into right field. A 2-out single for Ramirez keeps the inning alive.
You see, he just waited that little extra longer, a little bit extra, and drives it the other way in the hole. So he gets his first hit to be the Indians' 4th. And really a good swing there by Jose. You can see what his main purpose was. I'm going to stay on the baseball, take him the other way. The first time up, hit it well on the nose to center field. Nothing to show for it. But gets the hit there.
Brandon Guyer, the batter. Guyer drove in a run in the second inning and also came around to score. Takes a strike. See, if Norris were smart, he would have waited until Guyer came to the plate before he retaliated. Because then,
Guyer gets hit 30 times.
Nobody would have thought, wow, it's Guyer. He always gets hit. 30 times this year, Geyer's been plunked by a pitch.
Well, in his case, we talk about how many times it's been in the lower half. He just doesn't move his legs.
Yeah, he does not get out of the way. Now, if it's above the belt, if it's shoulder high or above, he can move his upper torso to get out of the way. But he said, once I plant that leg, it just can't move. Ball up high, 1-1. Do you have a drill for him maybe he could work on in the offseason?
I have no drills. Yeah, don't dig in as much.
Let's do some jump rope.
Yeah.
Chop your feet.
No, I do not, because, you know, even if they come down, and it can't feel good, because the last time I think he got hit, it was one of the better ones.
Yeah. Right back to Norris. And that'll end the inning. 3-2 Tigers after 4. By Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere.
All right, back here for the top of the 5th inning. Trevor Bauer back out there. He's going to face Cabrera, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez. And Miguel Cabrera hit in his first at-bat on the left wrist, but he got a base hit in his second at-bat, and it was career hit number 2,500 for Miggy. He just keeps climbing that ladder. You look at his career numbers, one of the greatest hitters in the game. Boy, nice curveball, 1 pitch, 1 out. The way you want to do it right there. That ball jumped up on Lindor, and it looked like it knocked the sunglasses off his hat. Look at it. It comes back and gets the bill of the cap. His glove does. It knocks the sunglasses off. He's still able to make the play. Oh, he turned on it is what happened. He turned his head, and those things flew off the top of his cap for out number 1. So he's going to tell Jason Kipnis how it happened. And that'll bring up Victor Martinez. Now Victor hit into a double play in his first at bat, and he was hit on the knee, the right knee again, for the second time in this series. And he stayed down for a while. Bauer's first pitch, change up, strike 1. Trevor has had to work very hard in every inning. He has had guys aboard, and he's been out of the stretch other than the leadoff man in 2 of the innings. Another curveball comes back with it. It'll be foul. Bounce into the seats.
You know, Arch, before this series started Friday night, I did a report and talking about how the Indians game plan that they were going to go inside on Miggy. But that's been their game plan against all of these hitters from Detroit. They don't want them comfortable in the box.
Right.
And we know Bauer likes to go inside. You know, we always talk about being effectively wild or effectively pitching inside. I think today's one of those days. He doesn't have a feel, but he's trying to go with the game plan.
Well, I understand that. Consciously, he is making an effort to pitch inside, and it's good. But when it gets away,
right,
you can't hit 3 guys.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and trust me, there's been some words and things that have been said back and forth down here.
Oh, I'm sure there has been.
By both, I think when you play each other as much as these two teams play each other, there's always something there anyway. I guess what I'm saying, we know Trevor's probably a little bit more excited for this start, knowing what's going on with the team and wants to prove his point. It's just been an interesting start, to say the least.
Yeah, and it's a 1-run game. You know, I mean, that's just the way baseball works. You know, when they have the Tigers down and they have dominated them all year, and they're coming in, they're just looking for a win here in a series, let alone guys going down, getting hit in the head, and getting hit all over the place. I totally understand it. That's why I figured there would be some retaliation, but now the warnings have been out.
Yeah.
I think this may be continued next week in Detroit, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll say this for Trevor Bauer. A lot of guys would have had that inning that he had, and another pitch wouldn't be thrown inside. You know what I mean? Some guys go the opposite way. He will not. He's sticking to the plan, whether that's going to get him in trouble or not.
Well, it does. You know what? That's what surprises me. His concentration has been so good, even through that inning, where he hit a couple of guys he didn't mean to. They weren't intentional. But boy, he did a heck of a job to maintain his concentration level. Out number 2, Victor Martinez. Now J.D. Martinez will be the hitter. I mean, when you look at it right here, there's Miggy in the first. Okay, that's a fastball that got away. It got him on the wrist or the hand. Not much you could do about it. He takes his base. He didn't say anything. That's the one that's scary right there. The one right up in the head off the helmet of Kinsler, but he remained in the game, and then Victor gets it on the knee. You're talking about 3 other star players.
Absolutely. But like as you guys showed earlier, and that's the retaliation.
Yeah.
As you guys showed earlier, that's the same place that Kluber went in on Victor Martinez.
Yes.
If you go back and we have film of it, they went inside first couple pitches against Miggy on Friday. And like I said, it's not intentional. It's how they feel they have to pitch against him.
No question. There's a breaking ball away from Bauer. Hey, they've done that all year to the Tigers, Andre. So, I mean, that's why they have been able to control the middle part of that lineup. For years, we watched them pitch away, and they wore us out.
The other thing that jumps out to me, though, is Bauer's last start in Chicago. He was really frustrated after the game because he felt he had his best stuff of the year. Now, he told me, remember that 6th inning? The ball that hit the middle?
Right.
He said, I was looking for a double play. And I think you said that during the game. He goes, I wasn't out of gas. He goes, I was trying to get the double play. He goes, I thought I'd do the right pitch, and I didn't. The other thing that frustrated him, not a curveball's working, the other thing that frustrated him, he got 2 strikes on the hitter that dropped the ball in between right center field. And he felt like he was snake bit in that 1 inning. He didn't want to come out. It's just interesting to hear how Trevor is. He hates me using this word, but he is maturing in front of our eyes. It's just some frustrating moments as we watch it.
Well, this game can be very frustrating. He's an emotional guy. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. But when you have your best stuff out there, and which he did, and I totally agree with that. He was as sharp as you could. He did not make an adjustment in that 6th inning, even though they got some hits that he shouldn't have felt happened to him. You got to make those adjustments throughout the course of a game.
Well, that's the next step for him. You know, he can't worry about having bad luck or anything else. He's got to just go out and throw strikes and not worry about all that other stuff.
I totally agree. Totally agree. And he has a chance here to have his first 1-2-3 inning of the game, and he could certainly use it here. Full count to J.D. Martinez.
I got a question for you, but we'll hold off for you.
All right, yes, with 2 strikes. And that's a fair ball down into the corner. J.D. Martinez shoots his 2nd base hit to right field. He'll go sliding in with his 32nd double of the year, so a 2-out base hit keeps this inning going. Go ahead, Andre.
Well, hold on 1 second. He wants to show the replay of him going away, hitting that. That's the 2nd time he's got a pitch away, and he's been able to drive it for a hit for Martinez. As a former player, when you knew a pitcher was up there and throwing all over the place, and even as a pro, did that affect how you towed in and got in there and really dug in?
Yeah. Yes, you would know that he's going to be a little wild. You wouldn't be as aggressive, I wouldn't think, looking away for everything. When he's consciously pitching inside, and you know he's a little erratic, which they know. So yeah, it would have an impact if I was hitting. Yes. Justin Upton, the hitter now. Foul ball out of play to the right side.
Upton's had one of those crazy years. I can remember back in April when we were talking about people in Detroit being mad that he was batting second and he was striking out every other at bat. It's amazing because they wouldn't be in the place that they're at right now if he hadn't gotten hot over the last month and a half.
No question. He's too good, you know, not to get hot throughout the course of the year. He's been a good player for a long time, but I remember early in the year when he was swinging and missing a lot. Ball outside. You know what, Andre? The thing I thought, he was coming over to a new league, never played in the American League, and you know, getting used to the pitchers. People never give them much thought. You know, when you're used to it. When he was in the National League West and getting to know those pitchers, he could wear you out.
He's one of those guys, though, to me, that has that same wave, you know, length. It's like if you have to almost not throw to that area, and you know where I mean. Outside, he loves driving that ball to right center.
And he's got such a short swing for a power hitter. But like a lot of guys that hit home runs in this ball game, they can swing and miss a lot as well.
Yeah.
So when they're in there, when they're in sync and they're hitting the ball like they can, they get on fire, and we've watched it in game 1. Bauer now 2-1 count here to Upton. Well, they extended on that one, and you're going to see a 2-run homer, and that one is out of here over the cameras in center field. And that's the pitch you were talking about, away, and watch how short his swing is. So Upton hits his 25th home run. It's going to be a 2-run home run, and he's going to increase it to a 5-2 lead for Detroit. Boy, that ball is out of here in a hurry. And Bauer still without a 1-2-3 inning. He took his time running around the bases. Watch the swing. It's going to be away. It's going to be, they wanted it in. And Bauer did not get it in. He put his head down, and you knew as soon as he hit it. Look how short and quick that is, right to the barrel of that bat. And he has his 25th home run.
Arch, all 3 home runs seems like it's been almost the same area, same swing.
I agree. We could bring them up, and you're right. You are absolutely right. So another 2 runs on the board here with 2 outs in the 5th. Detroit trying to bring in a little separation here. And Ibar, who's hitting right now, is 2 for 2, and he drove in the 2 runs in the 3rd inning to give him a lead after Bauer got J.D. Martinez to strike out and Upton. And there it is, 3 quick pitches. And that inning will end it as Detroit puts another 2 on the board. As you'll see, the pretty swing from Justin Upton. Fan appreciation night. The Indians will take on the Chicago White Sox. It'll be dollar dogs. You can grab a 2017 schedule poster and watch post-game fireworks. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets. All right, the Indians coming to bat now, down 3. It'll be Almonte, Jimenez, and Davis. And Daniel Norris, after he got the lead back in the 3rd inning, has really settled in. Struck out 4 in a row. He comes back with a good fastball. It's going to be popped up, driven to right field. An easy play for J.D. Martinez. It'll be out number 1.
Arch, we talk so much about different pitchers throughout the AL Central because we see them more than any other, or how teams are positioned. And as you watch Daniel Norris, and we know he was a high-round draft pick for Toronto, a lot was said about him going into last season. He kind of gives them a different look in their rotation, doesn't he?
Well, he sure does. He's a left-hander that throws in the mid-90s. He has a nice straight changeup and also a breaking ball. And, he started the year out in AAA, Andre, and, he made a number of starts and didn't have eye-popping numbers. But his stuff looks pretty good.
Well, his stuff's good, and I know he had a surgery off the season. I know he had a cancer scare in the offseason, so he was kind of playing catch-up from that situation. I guess when we look at Detroit, we don't ever really talk about, you talk about Verlander,
right,
obviously. But they've had two young guys that have helped, really give them a different look in the rotation now. We look at the guy who started, Fulmer, who started Friday.
Michael Fulmer, right.
And now you have Daniel Norris, both young guys. You and I were talking in Chicago about what we see with the White Sox in their rotation. It's some good pitching in this division.
I totally agree. And the funny thing, they give Zimmerman all the money, Andre, $100 million, and he started out and had a great first month where he was 5-0 and pitcher of the month. And it's funny that they end up relying on a bunch of young pitchers. Although Verlander has turned it around and he's had a nice year. Didn't get off to a great start, but that's what the Tigers, people felt the Tigers were going to go as far as their starting pitching carried them. Ooh, bounce into the dirt, bounced away, so it comes back to a 2-2 count. Chris Jimenez, the hitter, he struck out in his first at bat back in the 2nd. Ended the inning.
Chris Jimenez played a very different role for this team. We haven't seen him play a lot over the last 2-3 weeks, but he's played a very important role in this team throughout the season. Almost a voice of reason at times for some of the younger guys.
Well, remember when he first earlier he was catching Trevor Bauer every game, and he did for I think his first 11 or 12 starts. Strokes a nice single the other way for a 1-out base hit. It'll be hit number 5 for the Indians. 1-out single. Anything offensively when you get it from your catching position this year has been a bonus for the Tribe. So their job is go out there, call a good game, get things rolling. When they can get on base and help you offensively, it's a bonus. So this will be interesting here for Rajay.
Yeah.
Now he came back and he was the one that was leading off that 3rd inning after everybody was hit and they threw behind him, and that's when the warning started. So now Rajay can maybe relax and look for something away that he can get a base hit on.
You hit a little leadoff in your day and time.
Sure,
correct?
Sure.
Well, after this pitch, I want to tell you a conversation Rajay and I had about leading off. Plays into what he just did there.
It was swinging to the first pitch.
He's aggressive in nature as a leadoff hitter. He always tells me, he goes, I'm more important on first or second base rather than taking pitches trying to help somebody else behind me.
Right.
And and it's kind of the way baseball has gone. In the mid-90s, everybody was trying to get the pitch count out and get the starter up. And Raj, to me, kind of plays into, we've talked about home runs, it being up, and just the aggressive nature of hitters. He goes, I don't lead off enough, number 1, to do that. He goes, I don't like hitting with 2 strikes, so I need to go out and attack a guy rather than let him attack me.
You know what? There's a lot of guys that don't like hitting with 2 strikes. That's why there's nothing wrong if you get a pitch to your liking or a fastball early in the count, you go right ahead and get after it. It's a lot more fun, and that's the way it used to be. I mean, I'm talking a long time ago. You get out there, and there's nothing wrong with making an out on the first pitch if you liked the pitch selection, the fastball.
Right. Well, everybody goes back and forth about what you want, and I think when we've talked this season about Santana leading off, and we've seen Coco Crisp do it, it's just a different game when it comes to guy that's up there for the first at bat.
And one reason you hit on earlier in one of your statements is that the bullpens are so much better now. They don't have to work the starters. You try and get hits and score, and they're going to keep their starters in there anyway. But the bullpens are so much better.
So be aggressive and go get it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Be aggressive, but be smart with it. You know, when we say be aggressive, we don't want you to go out and swing at a changeup. First pitch, it's out of the zone, or a curveball, it's out of the zone. If you get a fastball to your liking, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
And talking to Ty Van Berkeley and the hitting coaches with the Indians, that seems to be the toughest thing they go through day in and day out, because they want the guys to be aggressive, but they always tell them, you know, swing at good pitches.
Right.
You know, learn what the guy's doing and know what the guy's doing, but be aggressive. And I think sometimes it's hard for some guys. And you know, the Indians have a lot of guys that don't play every day.
Right.
You know, and you know how that is. And if you don't play every day, sometimes you want to do as much as you can the day you get in. And I think that's the biggest hurdle that they've overcome this season, having guys being comfortable day in and day out, no matter how much they play or don't play.
Yeah, there's a fine line between being aggressive and swinging at your pitch. And, you know, some young hitters, they just swing at everything. You know, we've seen it, and you will continue to see it, but it takes at bats to get used to it. But the coaches, that's their job to explain it to them.
Right.
2-2 pitch to Rajay. Good pitch down and away. I think Daniel Norris thought he had one right there. Good pitch down and away. It was called the ball. Let's check it out on our tracker. Down and away. Ooh. Well, I'll tell you what, that's an extra strike for Raj today. You know, he's going to get 4 in this at bat. 3-2 count. See if he can take advantage of the extra strike. Norris set for the 3-2 pitch. Fouled it off, and he's going to make him work a little bit harder. You know you don't want to walk him in this situation. Outfield, infield, straight away for Davis. This will be pitch number 8. In the at-bat, the crowd's starting to come to life a little bit. They sense that if they can get a guy on, the tying run will come to the plate. We're only in the top half of the 5th. And he walked him. Looked like was that a breaking ball inside? Little slider in off the plate, missed him. So they will now have 2 on. So that's a break for Davis. Takes advantage of it. Kipnis going to come to the plate. As Rich Doobie's going to go take a stroll to the mound. That'll give me time to send out the last of our birthdays. Sister Louise Ramcone is 89. Louis and Margaret Pugel of Cleveland celebrating their 47th wedding anniversary. Greg and Nancy Gebhardt of Paris, Florida, believe it or not, Paris. 40th anniversary. Congratulations.
Well, first real scoring chance since the 2nd inning. Jason Kipnis has flat out struck out. What does he go up looking for right here? The way Norris has thrown his fastball and mixed in that breaking ball here today.
Just go up there and look for a good fastball first pitch.
Alex Wilson, right-hander, getting loose in the Detroit bullpen. Get a left-hander up as well. Blaine Hardy, the southpaw. He checked, but it's called a strike.
Well, it would look like it was up and away. He wanted to know, hey, was that on the pitch or did I swing? And I think he said the pitch. But when you look at Daniel Norris, has been able to retire the first 4 hitters for the Indians. All their hits coming 5 through 9.
Same pitch, this time called a ball. He did not go.
consistent. He had one tough inning, the second inning, but only one out here and having to work a little more.
Up the middle. Kinsler whiffs. Coming around and scoring is Jimenez. Rajay goes to third. It's a 2-run game at 5-3.
Now there's a ball that I think it was hit and it had spin to it and it was almost like a changeup, and it's going to go as an error on Kinsler. Let's watch the backhanded attempt. I thought he was going to get at least one, but he just whiffed on it, as you said. Davis able to go to third base, so the error is going to allow a run to score and set it up, and that ball just stayed down on his backhand side. And the Indians back in business.
Now Kipnis will get an RBI. But more importantly, the inning is now set up for the Indians to come right back.
Matt, Rick, I think this is an important at bat for Lindor, because you guys hit on it earlier. How he swung the bat with guys in scoring position has changed lately, and I know there's some people have been talking to him about it over here on the bench.
Well, and on top of that, you know, just 3 for his last 31 overall.
Yeah, despite the first big slump that we've seen from him really this whole season. But, you know, Rick, I said this to you guys early in the season. He extends and goes outside the strike zone. He was getting a lot of hits earlier in the year. Now he's missing those pitches and over-swinging.
Yeah. Well, he just has to remain patient. I mean, you see, don't be aggressive and swing at everything. He's a good enough hitter to hit with 2 strikes. He wants to get it done on the first or second pitch, and that's where, you know, the patience comes into play.
Well, could it hurt him that he's had so much success early in his career being able to get hits on balls that aren't in the strike zone? Because he can do that.
He does that a lot when nobody's on base. But the key when you have runners in scoring position, you're hitting the middle part of the lineup, is wait for your pitch. He got one there.
Deep. And caught right up against the wall by J.D. Martinez. Tagging and scoring is Rajay Davis. It's a 5-4 ball game as Lindor picks up RBI number 71.
There you go. That was a great at-bat for him. He was patient enough. He just took him the other way. He drove it deep to right center field. But this is the king of the sacrifice fly. He leads the league in that department. It's at 13 for him now. So he gets the run home. Kipnis remains at first base, but they get 2 in the inning. A lot of ball game left.
Mike Napoli takes, that's up high, ball 1. A bit outside. There's a strike, 2-1.
Well, the Indians able to answer the 2-run homer by Upton in the top half of the inning. Only the 1 single. That's how they've been able to get 2 runs. They had the single by Jimenez to get on, then the walk, and then an error and a sacrifice fly.
Napoli swung right through it. And it's 2-2. Norris has had a good fastball, as John Adams says, hit one to the drum. He came close earlier this year. Bouncer was short. Iglesias goes to second for the inning-ending force. But the Indians strike for 2 here in the 5th. They cut the gap to a single run at 5-4. Is it Miguel Cabrera?
Well, he doesn't look happy. And he's getting his last say. I don't know what happened. I didn't see it.
Doesn't look like he's leaving either, but
well, if he was kicked out, he'll have to before the first pitch. They'll keep an eye on it.
well, this crew certainly has had some issues with Detroit in the past.
He's there, so I don't think he got kicked out, did he?
No, he'd be gone.
Right.
Did someone actually get ejected, or was there? Well, last month in a game that Mike Everett, you can see Cabrera, he's mouthing words at somebody. That's going across. Is that going into the Indians dugout?
No idea.
It's not going to be caught. Geyer up against the wall, plays it, fires it back in. A leadoff double for James McCann off Trevor Bauer. Miguel Cabrera is looking directly across into the Indians dugout. So whoever he's talking to is wearing an Indians uniform. Oh, hey, we can read lips. Jose Iglesias with the leadoff man in scoring position after the Indians just cut the gap to a single run. Activity in the Cleveland bullpen. Bauer's pitch in for a strike. Getting a pinch hitter now for Ian Kinsler. He may have been.
That's
the one that got ejected.
Yeah, I would think that's the one that's been ejected.
Iglesias bunts. That's going to stay fair.
That's a nice bunt.
Jimenez will throw to first, and James McCann moves to third on the sacrifice. Let's go back to the end of the inning here and see if we can figure out what happened. Kinsler walks up.
He made one statement and left.
He must have already been ejected by that point. Whatever it was, who knows? But last month, Mike Everett ejected 4 Tigers in a single game. That was this crew. They were, I believe they were in Detroit. And in that game, first Victor Martinez was ejected. Then Wally Joyner was ejected. Then Brad Ausmus was ejected. And then J.D. Martinez was ejected. All by home plate umpire Mike Everett.
Now that you say that, I remember that game.
Well, that's Jordan Baker who ejected Kinsler here, but you never know. They've obviously had their fill of each other. The Tigers in this whole probably crew.
Well, the infield's in for Romine, and they're going to try and cut off the run, but Bauer has an 0-2 count on him right now. It's been a wild game. The Indians scored 2 in the bottom of the second. Detroit comes back with 3 in the third. They get 2 in the fifth. The Indians answer with 2. And he does not chase that ball in the dirt. That time.
Yes, he did. He kept testing his patience. And there are now 2 down. It's a 5th strikeout for Bauer.
He didn't swing at a strike, I don't think, in this at bat. You can see that was a check swing, although he couldn't hold up. So he went down on the last couple of curveballs that Bauer threw him. So 2 outs and now a chance to get out of the inning.
Cameron Maben, an infield hit in the 1st, walked and scored in the 3rd. Hit into a double play his last time up. How's that for up and down? 33 in the 3rd, 7 in the 4th, 20 in the 5th, 9 here in the 6th. Blew it by him 0-2. Crowd coming to life here with the Indians down a run in the 6th. Tigers a man at 3rd, 2 down, 0-2 pitch way out in front of the plate, and the run is going to score. 6-4 Tigers.
That's a gift run there. Boy, up in the count, throws that breaking ball, a big curveball, and it didn't look like much Jimenez could do to even stop that one. He tried to put an arm on it, straight into the dirt, way out front. It's such a long hop for Jimenez to do anything with. Boy, that's one there I bet he'd like back. Only the 3rd wild pitch for Bauer today. I mean this year.
What's probably going to bother Trevor more than anything about his performance here today is how much of it has been self-inflicted. He hit 2 batters and walked 1 in the 3rd, and all of that directly led to the 3 runs the Tigers scored. And here in the 6th, the wild pitch cost him another run. So 4 of those 6. He can look back and say, I gave him those 4. That's in the hole. Nice stop by Lindor, but no chance to get Maben. And that will keep the inning alive now for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, it's good effort, great effort by Lindor. He wasn't going to get up and throw Maben out. So you just wisely hold on to the ball. It was a breaking ball that he pulls, hits in the hole. So it continues the inning. That's 10 hits now for Detroit.
Miguel Cabrera is going to do everything in his power to not look at the home plate umpire. Outside, he missed ball 1 with a fastball. Six runs on 10 hits for Detroit. Two and 0. Missed again, 3-0. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. But this could be the end of the line for Trevor Bauer.
I would certainly think so.
Swinging 3-0, but couldn't catch up to 95.
Well, you have to think, you know, the way they've gone today, he gets a 3-0 count. He's going to get after. As I mentioned, he got his 2500 hit, 2,500 in that single back in the third.
Full count.
Top of the zone, outside edge.
Mayburn will be off with the 3-2 pitch, and it's a tad high, ball 4. So 2 on. 2 out. Here comes Tito, and that's going to do it for Trevor Bauer. And as you take another look at the pitch that's just tantalizing high, but Miguel says, no, I'm not chasing. I'll take my base. And we'll park company here in the 6th. So 2 on, 2 out. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made for right-hander Sean Armstrong. On a strange day for Trevor Bauer. He hit 3. And has given up 6. He has given up 10 hits as well. And the Tribe trails it by 2. By your local Toyota dealers. Where do you start with this one? Well, let's go back to Abraham Almonte's RBI hit. Indians got 2 of those in the second. They took a 2-0 lead. Tigers came right back. A couple of hit batters and a walk led to 3 runs in the third. Then a 2-run homer in the 5th. Made it 5-2. But then the Indians scrapped their way back with a pair in the 5th to cut it to a run. And now a wild pitch has given Detroit a 6-4 advantage here in the 6th. Victor Martinez fouls one straight back. Sean Armstrong coming out of the bullpen trying to keep it a 2-run deficit now. Key spot right here after the Indians still showing some fight offensively.
Yeah, the Tigers have had pressure on Bauer and the Indians all day long. They have not had a 1-2-3 inning. They have had their share of base runners. Now this would be a big out just to keep it a 2-run game. They had to get a chance to get out of this inning with the wild pitch. And a Base hit and a walk.
Now the 0-2. Up and away. Victor Martinez was plunked by a pitch for the second time in the series back in the third. He went down in the heat. Looked like he was hurt badly, but he hasn't missed a turn at bat in this game. Two and two. You wonder sometimes that when you get hit on the knee, it doesn't hurt more because when that front foot lands, you're kind of locked into position, and then you're trying to move and get it out of the way, but you just can't.
Well, he was locked in today. I don't think he was on Friday night. But like you said, back to back, right in the same spot. Did not feel good. I watched him run out there, and he has a tough time running the bases anyway. But today he's even slower than normal. Kluber on Friday night went down and in and got him on that front knee. See, that time it wasn't down on the ground. It looked like it was up off the ground. He was hobbling a little bit, but today, see how it was extended. It was straight. It was on the ground, and it caught him. And that just, man, that's like fouling the ball up the same spot a couple days in a row.
Two. Pulls it foul. That was way inside, and Martinez couldn't get the barrel to it. He had it off the handle, and you can see him kind of shake that left hand after he followed through. Get that stinging sensation occasionally. These guys don't get that very often. They put it on the barrel most times.
Yes, they do.
Two balls, two strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Tigers up 2 here in the 6th. And this is going to have to be the pitcher covering. Armstrong is there, takes the throw from Kipnis to end the inning. Tigers get a run. They lead 2, middle of the 6th. 6-4 Detroit. Pro. We'll look at this weekend's tournament action, help analyze your swing and improve your game. The Golf Zone, presented by American Eagle Mortgage and Farm & Guard, tonight at 8 on Fox Sports Ohio. Carlos Santana will lead off for the Tribe. Alex Wilson, the new pitcher for the Tigers. Left-hander Daniel Norris went 5. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Defensively, the Tigers, who were the top-rated team in the league coming in, they've not played well in the series, and 2 more errors today directly helped the Indians score runs. Santana swings and misses.
Yeah, they had 3 errors on Friday night's game, a pair of them today, so 5. They've gone from, they have 65, they now have 70 on the year.
There's a long fly ball, deep right center field, and it is gone. Carlos Santana, with his 32nd home run of the year, makes it a 1-run game. Well, that didn't take long. Welcome to the game, Alex Wilson.
Well, there was no doubt. He left a little fastball up out over the plate, and Santana just smoked it. Just above the Indians' bullpen there, into the seats. That's scrambled. It's back to a 1-run ball game.
And Jose Ramirez takes down low. He's a 1 for 2 today. 2-out single back in the 4th. And a low fastball at the knees. He doesn't count a 1-1. So Santana socks one out of here. His 2nd hit of the game, 4th hit in the series. In some ways, Rick, this game today has the feeling of a sort of a season-ending series.
Yes.
The way it's kind of been chippy and everybody's just sort of irritable. But that's what happens when one team has had the upper hand as much as the Indians have had. You just sort of get that, I guess.
Well, this was a huge series for Detroit coming into it. And, you know, they were beat up in game 1, 11-4, and yesterday the 1-0 game where the Indians bullpen shut them down on just 4 hits for the whole game. So yeah, they're going to be chippy. And then today 3 of their hitters get hit. You have some ejections. Yes, you can feel it. There's just a bad feeling to this game.
Now Ramirez yanks one down the line deep into the corner, and it's foul. So Jose Ramirez was trying to either wrap one inside the pole or at least get extra bases, but well foul. By the way, the ejection of Ian Kinsler, that's the 10th time in his career he's been tossed from the game. And there's a smash right back up the middle. Oh, Jose Ramirez with his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Jose Ramirez is a very good breaking ball hitter, and what he does, he stays back on this one. Watch his hands to take it right back up the middle. He just doesn't get out on the front foot. He keeps his hands back. You see him just hesitate.
Yeah.
And just, boy, that's really just a good read. He sees it well, and he takes what the pitcher has given him one more time. So Ramirez now 2 for 3 on the day, and that's the tying run aboard.
The batter now, Brandon Geyer. Geyer had an RBI single in the second. And then because of the error by Maben on that base hit, he got into scoring position. Uh-oh, Josie's caught in no man's land. Oh, I thought Cabrera whiffed on the tag, but I guess he got him.
Well, I saw Sandy point to his eye and say, take a peek at it. You know, take a look at it. He wasn't sure he got him, but it's worth taking a peek. Not that they're going to challenge, but let's look. And there's the bunt, and that's where, as a base runner, he got caught in nowhere's land. I mean, the ball beats him by a boatload. I don't know. I didn't see him from that angle.
He must have, because they're not challenging.
Okay. No, he went underneath. I didn't see it, but they're not challenging, so he must have got him.
Let's see, right here on the shoulder. Initially, yeah, that's where
he caught him on the arm.
Yep. Down low. Two balls and a strike for Geyer now. Oh, he had one to hit. He'll wake up thinking about that one. I think his eyes got wide and he might have pulled off it just a bit.
Well, he had a good swing. He stayed on it. One of those you fall straight back. Went right into the mask of McCann.
A little low. And a full count. Base is empty, one out. Squibs that over toward the Detroit dugout. Each team is offensively, they've matched each other the last couple innings. Detroit got two in the top of the fifth. Indians came back two bottom half. Detroit a run in the top of the sixth. Indians a solo shot from Santana here to equal that.
They try to pull away, and the Indians won't let them. See, they responded to Cleveland's two in the bottom half by getting on top, and that's what you try to do. The way the Tigers have played against the Indians this year, you don't want it to happen early again, although it did in the second. But they had a response because of the wildness of Bauer. You know, you don't want to fall behind, because then you say, okay, here we go again. So this has been a good game.
High fly ball, right field. J.D. Martinez, 2 down.
And we still have a long way to go.
Yeah. Indians still have an out to give here in the sixth, and then we've got 3 full frames to play. And both bullpens, it'll be on their shoulders the rest of the way. Abraham Almonte 1 for 2 RBI single his first time up. Golfs this one towards center. Maben there. Inning over. We played 6. It's the Tigers 6 and the Indians 5. Bullpen yesterday, 10 innings, 3-hit shutout baseball. Second game this season where the Indians bullpen has done that.
That's unbelievable. But look at that, the last one.
Little history.
9 pitchers used in a shutout in Major League history. Just to add another one to the docket for the Indians.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
The number of things that they have accomplished this year. You know, their 14 consecutive wins and
stolen bases
in a game, and 4 homers in an inning, and that yesterday. It's just another edition of the 2016 Cleveland Indians.
J.D. Martinez, 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Sean Armstrong misses ball 1. It's back and out of play. Swing and a miss. 5 out of the 7 appearances Armstrong has made this year with the big league club have been scoreless. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by him. Brings up Justin Upton, who has 3 hits in the series. All 3 of them have been home runs.
Watch the 3 pitches also. Very similar, every one of them. That one leaked back to the middle of the plate, and he went straight away center. But watch this one today. Another one away. Boy, such a short, quick swing for a powerful guy to the baseball, and they were all launched. Line drives, got out of here in a hurry.
In off the plate, ball 1. I don't mean this as a knock on Justin Upton at all, but I was thinking after watching that home run he hit, there was a time in baseball where if you'd have hit a home run and stood there the way he did and then just sort of Cadillac'd around it, you might have, somebody else might have paid for it in your lineup.
But who was pitching? Bauer. Think about it.
Yeah.
And he hit 3 guys today.
That was his payback.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it goes. You want to throw, you want to hit. That's just all part of the game. You know, when situations, and we do not mean that Trevor was throwing at anybody intentionally, nor did he try to hit anybody, but the players take care of the game between the lines by themselves.
Right field, in comes Almonte, because as you've said, Rick, and this is as old as the game itself, if it's intentional or not, 3 of my guys got hit, so I'm going to have to do something about it. That's just the mentality of the game.
Well, that was the first, and this guy got one right in the head, and that ball took off, which was fairly scary. And then Martinez gets it back in the knee, the same spot he got it Friday night. But there's 4 guys that have gone down in the series.
Look at Kinsley.
I know it. I mean, and Bauer's saying, hey, I didn't do it intentionally. Whether you did or not, he got hit in the head, and he ended up getting ejected. So it's been one of those days. It's a weird game, and I'm going to tell you, next weekend in Detroit, or next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I should say, you know, we'll see if anything resurfaces.
My guess is probably not, But when you're in the heat of the moment, I can understand the frustration. Certainly, you see where it comes from. But I think, after they cool down, they're going to realize that while as you said, you're not happy about it, but they know it wasn't, Trevor Bauer wasn't headhunting or wasn't intentionally trying to maim anybody. But you could hear Kinsler as he was coming down the line barking at Bauer saying, throw it over the plate. That's what players always say when guys get hit. Hugs the line. Santana's there. Easy out. Tigers go 1-2-3. Stretch time in Cleveland. 6-5 Tigers. Indians baseball is brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. 6-5 Tigers lead before we go to the bottom of the seventh. Let's go back to the studios for an in-game update with Ashley Collins.
Thanks, Matt. The Rays and the Orioles are in action in Baltimore as they close out their 4-game set. And we'll go to the 6th inning, Rays up 1-0. And Baltimore would tie it up. Manny Machado with his 36th homer of the season. A solo shot out to center field. Orioles in a battle for the AL East title. They're currently 3 back and are tied with Toronto at the top of the wild card standings. It's tied at 1, bottom of the 7th.
Thank you, Ashley. Manny Machado, another guy who's going to make a strong case for American League MVP.
No doubt.
And these Tigers, along with the Astros and Mariners, could find themselves out of the wild card race, let alone the Central Division title hunt. Coco Crisp leading off for the Tribe here in the bottom of the 7th. Shane Green, new pitcher for Detroit, and the right-hander with a breaking ball in for strike 1. Green's 46th appearance of the year.
He appeared in Friday night's game, won an inning, couple of hits, gave up a run, also had a strikeout.
Coco pops one back out of play. And now the 2-strike pitch.
Ooh, pretty good comebacker.
Well, that did have some serious movement at the end.
You see, that's the way he throws that little 2-seamer. That's a good pitch. 0-2 is left-handed hitters have a tendency to give up on it, but it had some movement coming back.
Now he goes away, and Coco slaps it that way foul. Now Green ready with a 1-2. And Coco couldn't help himself. He's down on strikes, 1 away.
Comes back with a slider down and in, and he did go. Couldn't hold up. So that little comeback, I think, set up that slider there.
There were 2 stories after yesterday's win in 10 innings over Detroit for Cleveland, 1-0. One was the loss of Coco Crisp. The other was the fact that the Indians somehow won that game, despite that Carlos Carrasco left the game 2 pitches in after getting hit by a line drive, and then later deemed his season over after suffering a fracture on his pitching hand. But in the local paper today, the season was deemed to be over, and that didn't sit well with the Indians in their clubhouse. And it was kind of the talk of many of the players. I mean, the headline of the story was the Indians won a ball game, but their postseason dreams ended. Write it down. September 17th, the Indians were eliminated from serious postseason advancement before they even got there. That was the first line of the story. Jason Kipnis, in particular, did not like the story. As Rajay Davis grounds one to third, and a close play, but he's out by a whisker at first.
Well, yeah, that was good recovery by Romine. He never panicked, and when you have a guy like Davis running, I'll tell you what, your heart's got to flutter because he is out. His foot was coming down to that bag, and it was awfully close.
Jason Kipnis took to Twitter this morning, basically telling the writer of the story, if that's the way you feel, then don't bother coming to the park. Just cover us from home the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he does, because, well, we have tomorrow off, right?
Tomorrow is an off day.
Yeah, well, so it'll be interesting if he comes back Tuesday.
The pitch, and Kipnis fouls one back out of play.
Well, boys, it wasn't just Jason Kipnis and the team, the players. Every coach that I saw this morning, every person that does anything inside that clubhouse was going, hey, did you see that this morning? Did you read it? Did you read that? Is that how you feel? It's, to me, almost the perfect thing to get this team going and keep it going.
You know, Andre, that's the funny thing. As if this team needs any more motivation or anything else to drive them. But that may have served as a little more fuel, especially because, hey, if there's nothing better for an athlete or
Right.
a team. You want to count us out? All right, we're going to show you.
Well, Matt, as soon as I read it, the first thing I thought is this is going to be on the bulletin board. Just knowing these guys, that's the first thing I thought is they'll know about it. They're going to talk about it.
It's like a football team when they see somebody go plug it up there. But you know, this is a guy that's covering this team and has been with them all year and watched the remarkable things that they have done. And they have fought back from everything. And the first thing you got to think about is Michael Brantley.
Right.
Who, you know, he's been out all year. They're second in the league in runs scored. So come on, for goodness sakes.
The 1-2 pitch. And Kipnis down on strikes. The Indians go in order. We'll go to the 8th. Tigers still lead it by a run 6-5. The Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Indians fans can secure priority access for postseason tickets to any game at Progressive Field by purchasing season tickets for next year. You'll get opening day priority, access to the Tribe Rewards program, and much more. Visit Indians.com/postseason or call the Indians at 216-420-HITS today. Indians' magic number when the day began, sitting at just 7. A win today would knock it down to 5. But they trail going into the 8th inning as Zach McAllister comes on. He's the 3rd pitcher of the afternoon. Adam Moore takes over behind the plate. And James McCann will be the batter. And a foul right back. McCann doubled and scored what right now is the difference in the game, the 6th run for the Tigers in that 6th inning. In some ways a gift run because he came home on a wild pitch, even though the next hitter got a base hit. Fouled back on the bunt attempt by McCann.
Was that a bunt or was that a check swing? That was hard to tell.
Well, he squared, but I don't know why he would be bunting unless he was just hoping he caught Ramirez napping.
That wasn't even close to being a strike.
You're just not expecting this guy to bunt.
Well, and that's what happens. He's not a bunter, and he tries to bunt something that's not even close to being a strike. Obviously trying to get something going and get on base. But what he did, he put himself behind in the count now.
Over the outside corner, no, just wide of the mark. and in. Spun him out of there 2-2. Now there's a case where you can see a hitter who is looking away for the baseball and just has a little tougher time reacting to the pitch that's moving up and in. Is it playable though? Yep. Santana. He's there. He's got it. One away.
Stepping in now for Detroit is the shortstop, Jose Iglesias.
And that'll bring up Jose Iglesias. Iglesias. How about that? Married since 1952.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think we've seen this couple in Detroit before.
Well, they've got their
in the seats.
They've got their fedoras, giveaways from earlier this year. That's what you call diehard fans. If they're coming, they're making road trips too. Good pitch, and it's 1-1. Andrew Romine waiting on deck, tried down a run here in the 8th inning. Check to swing. It's off the bat foul. Indians are thinking to themselves right now, what will we do to find a way to win this game? The Tigers, in the back of their mind, you know, have to be thinking, are we going to find a way to give this one away? Just missed outside 2-2.
Well, this is game number 15 between these two teams, and we still have yet to see their closer pitch in a game,
which is unbelievable when you think about it.
It sure is to me. You know, I would imagine he would be available for 5 outs today.
There's a line drive, and Monte slides and makes a great catch. That ball was sinking as it was moving out toward right field. And he went down and made a fine grab to steal a hit away from him.
He did. This ball was hit on the nose. He broke back and then comes in and able to get that glove down on the ground before that ball hits. On the backhanded side, makes a nice play, gets out number 2. That ball was hit very hard.
To left, going the other way. Geyer, he makes a great catch, tumbling into foul territory as he hit the all-weather track. And a little slow to get in, but Brandon Geyer just made a fantastic play. So the Indians outfield throwing the leather around.
Let us plan your trip with ticket and travel assistance. Just go to Indians.com spring for more information.
Well, the Indians down a run here in the 8th inning. And they'll send up 3, 4, and 5. Lindor, Napoli, and Santana. Lindor 0 for 2, drove in a run with a sac fly back in the 5th inning. Outside ball 1 from Shane Green. Green worked a 1-2-3, 7th inning, looked very sharp. Not the case on Friday night when the Indians got him for a run on 2 hits. Up and away. And it's 2-2. Is there to make the catch. 1 away. And Lindor 0 for 3. That'll bring up Mike Napoli. He is hitless on the afternoon. But anytime he's up, he's one swing away from tying the game up. His 34th home run of the season came in the series opener. And it was a gargantuan shot to left field that hopped the fence and made it all the way out to the parking garage. Up and away, ball 1. $21,382 the attendance here this afternoon. Over 70,000 for the 3-game series. Napoli does not concur with home plate umpire Jordan Baker of his assessment on that pitch. Looked like it was high. You know, Rick, whether or not it's a statement on how Tigers fans feel about Detroit's chances this late in the season or not, we're used to seeing a lot of Tiger fans show up for these kinds of series. Yeah. If they're here, they've been awfully quiet. We haven't really heard from them at all. Yeah, they haven't had a lot to cheer about in the season-long series against the Tribe this year. That is for sure. I'd say the most impressive throng of road fans we've seen this year in terms of folks coming here to Cleveland was the gathering from Toronto. Yes, I would agree with that. They were loud and vocal. And that was an entertaining series too. Actually, the series in Toronto and the series here, they were all fun games. Yes, they were. Low scoring outside of 1 and 2. Napoli gets into one, high in the air, deep left, up and back, and he makes the catch back against the wall. 2 down. He did not have one more foot to go back. He was back with his back
I think, plastered against the wall. He just reaches up and takes it away. Napoli right off the end. You know, he didn't drive it like he normally does. He hit it well. But there's Upton. He was thinking, I got to jump. He couldn't have went any farther back.
Here's one case where after the game, if Justin Upton says, hey, my back was against the wall today, he would not be using a cliche.
No, he would not. He was getting ready to jump, but that thing just right there for him.
Miller time brought to you by Miller Lite. Last time off Carlos Santana. Number 32.
Yeah, that was a Polk second pitch in the at-bat. He got it out of here. That brought it back to within one, and that's the way it's remained. And now comes the manager, and I think we're going to see. I don't know if he wants to flip Santana over to the right side of the plate. He's got their closer up, K-Rod, but he also had the left-hander up, unless he sat down. So he's going to come out and he's going to wait for Rodriguez, I think, to be ready. He looks ready to me. There it is. He's going to the bullpen. This will be the first time all year the Indians have faced Rodriguez.
It only took 15 games. Timeout in Cleveland.
Bottom half of the 8th inning. This is game number 15 for the Indians against the Tigers, and this will be the first time that we will see Francisco Rodriguez against the Indians. He has 42 saves on the year. He has a record of 3-3 at .265 earned run average. Now he has appeared, this is going to be game number 58. He has a great changeup. He doesn't throw hard, but it's all deceptions, arm and legs, and comes at you, and you know, tries to put you away. But I find it hard to believe. Game number 15, and this is the first time he is coming into a ball game here, and he's going to remain in this inning, and he'll come back out for the next. So he's looking for a 4-out save, and it's going to be Carlos Santana from the left side of the plate.
Arch, you aren't the only one surprised. Mike Sarval just came over to me, coaching third base, and he goes, can you believe this? 15 games before we see the closer?
Yeah, it's remarkable.
It is. And I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And he shrugged his shoulders and he looked at me. He goes, well, we should know what he has, but he throws those legs and everything at you. He goes, it's just not normal.
It's a changeup, and his fastball, he'll throw it when you least expect it. Hey, you know what? It's a bad thing if they haven't seen him yet. That's the one thing. But the way the Indians here have gone, don't be surprised if they come back and get him.
I was going to say to you, and I'll wait till after this pitch, but I got to tell you, it's a different feel down in this dugout in games like this. And you know what? You've been in dugouts. No one is trying to do too much, but everybody down here kind of is just waiting for that next big moment to happen. It's a strange thing. It's hard to explain, but you know exactly what I'm saying.
It's the feeling they've had all year long here. They know that they could come back and win this game, and this is only the 8th inning. We still got another inning to go. Popped him up, and it's going to take the 9th inning because this one should be out number 3. Iglesias comes in, puts him away, and we will go to the 9th as the Indians go down 1-2-3.
Welcome you back to the corner along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. And Jensen, we've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen batters get hit by pitches, guys getting thrown at. We've also seen some pretty good pitching in certain situations and some good situational hitting.
I think you've seen some frustration boiling over for the Detroit Tigers. And again, Trevor Bauer not intentionally hitting anybody early in this game, especially Ian Kinsler. But I think you can see how this game is being pitched differently now that both benches have been worn. You got to be careful coming inside. I'll bring Rick in on this too. Rick, you know from being out there that once you kind of take away a portion of the plate, not that it makes hitting easier, but it seems like the approach has changed from both sides of these pitchers.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be that way after the Indians had already hit 3 batters. You know, it does, because the next guy that goes inside or gets hit, you may get ejected from the ball game. So we had a feeling it was going to take this kind of toll, but still a winnable game for the Indians. A 1-run ball game here, 6-5.
And Rick, were you surprised to see K-Rod in the game in the 8th inning?
I was not. No. I had a feeling he'd go multi-inning save. This will be his 5th attempt. He's 3 out of 4 so far this year, but this is a game Detroit has to win. So that didn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, as Joe Colon gets ready to go here, Rick, there's a couple of things, especially late in this game. We've seen this from the Indians every single time at home. It feels like they're always in it. And with K-Rod, back end of his career, not a sure thing, especially the way the Indians have hit here as of late.
But yeah, well, they feel they're going to get their chance. So right now, Colon has to put up a 0 on the board and keep it a 1-run game. And it should be fun in the bottom half of the 9th, as it always is here.
And Rick, how about the bullpen this weekend? I mean, last night we saw the shutout pitching of the bullpen. Today we're seeing it again. Armstrong's done well. McAllister, now Joe Colon here in the 9th inning. Huge positive as we head down the stretch.
This bullpen has been surprisingly very good in the last few weeks when called upon, because the starters have not given them a lot of length and they've had some injuries. And I'll tell you what, they've been remarkable. Tito's got to be proud of his bullpen.
Now, the way these guys are going, and now we talked about it, you guys have talked about it, the rotation, it'll be altered going in now, and these guys are going to be called upon in these next couple of weeks. I mean, and nothing is sewn up yet. And the matchups, especially against Kansas City and Chicago to end this homestand, some pretty tough lineups.
Good pitch. Yeah, you know what? There's no givens in this game. You got to earn it, and they're not going to make excuses. They're going to keep battling until they say, hey, guys, the magic number's here. It's down to 7. They want to get it down as quickly as possible. Colon now, 3-2 count. You don't want to walk him. And he does just that. So the leadoff man aboard. Take a look now at Pat O'Brien play of the game. An 0-2 pitch, Jensen. What's that like when you're a pitcher? You throw that breaking ball, and that allows that 6th run for the Tigers.
That's a tough one right there, because with the way Bauer was battling out of that situation, you felt that if you get through that, the momentum goes back to the Indians side, and one pitch right now, 1 run, that's certainly been the difference.
It's, yeah, the 0-2 pitch, and you know, he was getting his way out of that inning and had a chance, but he bounced that hook, and that was their 6th run. A tough break. Jimenez did everything in his power to try and keep it around. That was just a tough pitch to block. It hit so far out in front of the plate.
Rick, I've noticed another thing too, and perhaps you can shed some light on this. The way that the Indians have dominated the middle part of this lineup, there's been a lot of emphasis on fastballs elevated inside. We know with power hitters, they want to extend their arms, particularly Miggy and JD Martinez. These guys have made a concerted effort. They are not going to allow them to extend their arms.
It only took us 3 years to realize you can't pitch these guys away. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they wear you out. If you take a look and on the hit number 2,500 for Cabrera back in the 3rd, it was just a nice fastball out and away. He just served it that way with runners at 1st and 2nd. And I mean, he can do that in his sleep. You have to make him very conscious of you coming inside and pitch inside. And the Indians have done a great job to the right-handed power bats of the Tigers all year long. They really have.
This is the situation now with Joe Colon. You got to know in a 1-run game, I know it's Miguel Cabrera, but you have got to find a way to stay ahead of him, because one more run here and perhaps extra base, hit. This is a situation as a young reliever. If anybody's watching out there, and especially guys coming up, you have got to pound the strike zone late in the ball game.
Yeah, even though it is Miguel Cabrera.
We talked about that on Indians Live too, how they control the middle of the order. Still, Cabrera doesn't have an RBI this weekend. He does have a hit, but Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez, I mean, Rick, that's really been the key, hasn't it, holding those guys at bay this entire season series?
Absolutely, right now. But Colon's pitching himself into trouble now. He's nibbling. He's not being aggressive, and what you're doing, you're just setting up a big inning for him. 3-0. We saw Cabrera swing the last time he was 3-0. And 4 straight, so he's walked the first 2.
And the one saving grace, now you have 1st and 2nd base with Victor Martinez at the plate. And we saw earlier in this game, he's not running well. You get a ball on the ground here, you can kind of save face, but you certainly do not want to make a mistake over the plate. This is where games can be won and lost. If you can find a way to get a ground ball, get a double play, you're in a much better situation when you got to pitch to JD Martinez.
Yes, indeed. They were able to turn a double play in the 1st inning when Victor hit the ball, and I'm going to tell you something. It might have been the slowest double play turned all year. He got down to first baseline in about 6 seconds.
Rick, he just does not look healthy. And I know obviously he gets hit in the kneecap. That's not going to help things out. But coming into these past couple of series, not only here at Progressive Field, but back at Comerica Park, he's up there in age, former teammate of mine, but I don't think I've ever seen him be this ginger in how he's been on the field.
Well, and plus he's been hit on that right knee 2 times in this series.
There you go.
Slows it down, throws the breaking ball for strike 1.
That'll be interesting sequence-wise here if he tries to stay in with Victor again, not letting guys get their arms extended, or if he goes to that power sinker down and away to try and get that ground ball.
Oh, you got to try and get him to hit it on the ground here. Good pitch.
Nice changeup.
Good pitch. Now has a chance. He's in front 0-2.
Different sequence too, Rick. You don't usually see it, but in this case, you lead with the breaking ball, you go to the changeup. Nice arm speed. Check this out right here. Kind of fools Victor. He's in between on that. A lot of array of pitches you can go to. You can elevate or you can extend the strike zone away in the outside corner.
Yeah, but remember, Victor's a good 2-strike hitter. Not an easy guy to strike out. Ooh, got him.
Wow. Right there.
And then he came with the fastball when Victor was looking for something else. Beautiful. Well done. That was a nice sequence there by Colon.
take a look at the Fox tracks. This is exactly where you want to put it, down where you can't have any damage to that. And Victor, I know that's in between, but take a look at where that crosses. Great frame job by Moore on that. That's a huge out, trying to escape trouble here.
It certainly is. This is a guy now you want to stay on the inside part of the plate. You talked about earlier, J.D. Martinez likes the ball out over the plate to shoot it to right field. Both his hits today have come that way.
And Rick, Jensen and I were talking earlier too. It seems that this weekend the Indians have made a concerted effort to pitch him more on the inside corner than they have previously.
Yeah, but he spun one up there. He didn't go in there hard, and it's a 3-run homer. Oh. And there's the dagger right there for the Indians. He didn't go in hard. He went in soft with a breaking ball, and he left it there. And there's the damage done right there. J.D. Martinez, his 21st home run. And it's a big one. The walks come around to score. And then the breaking ball on the inside part. It is now 9-5. There you'll see it stayed right there, middle of the plate, the breaking ball. He stayed back, trying to shoot it to right. It speeds up his bat. He goes to straightaway center, and the damage is done right there.
Just question the pitch selection right there. If you're going to throw that in that situation, I understand you're trying to get the ground ball as Tito's going to make a pitching change, but poor execution. You mentioned it, Rick. The walks come around to hurt. That's a big one.
All right, boys. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the backside at the end of this ball game.
You got it.
Sounds good.
All right, and now it's time for a pitching change. We'll be right back.
Indians were hoping to put a dagger in the Tigers and drop their magic number down to 5, and now it appears that it's going to take some kind of a rally now, down 4. Give the bullpen a break, that didn't work out as well either, although Bauer did fight his way through 5 and 2/3 here this afternoon. Gave up 6 runs on 10 hits. It's been a strange game all the way around.
Yeah, a weird one today, to say the least.
Austin Adams making his 17th appearance on the year. He's got Justin Upton at the plate. This guy's already done plenty of damage in the series. Two-run homer back in the 5th for Upton. 3 homers in the series. Today's game, though, underscores how impressive last night's performance was by the Indians bullpen. Just not all as easy as they made it look last night to just call on 9 different guys to go out and shut a team down.
Yeah, and it's never happened before. That's how rare that was. What they did yesterday, unbelievable. But you can see what happens. You give up base runners, and they're able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's, you know, every reliever we've ever talked to has always said that one thing you can't do when you come into a game late, especially a tight game, is put people on base. If they hit their way on, it's one thing. But
well, right now today you had Armstrong and you had Moore, 2 young players, and you're going through the lineup, and I know it's a little intimidating when you're facing the Tigers and you're going through the middle part of the lineup, but you still have to make them hit their way on. If they hit their way on, it's one thing. When you give him some runs, and then he came back and made some really good pitches to Victor Martinez, and then a bad, I think, sequence or a bad pitch to J.D. Martinez cost him 3 runs, and 3 of them walks. They've only walked 4 guys, and 3 of them have come around to score. Yeah, there's another one.
Now Austin Adams walks the first batter he faces and brings up Eric Ibar.
Stepping in now for the Tigers, second baseman
Ibar, he was stout early in this game with hits in his first 2 at-bats. The second one drove in 2 runs with 2 outs, just when it looked like Trevor Bauer was going to get out of that mess and only give up the 1 run. But he made it hurt with the 2-run single. Sort of set the tone for the day. Trevor just lost command a couple of times, and in that 3rd inning he hit 2 batters, walked 1, forced a run in, and then the Ibar 2-run single with 2 outs after he had struck out J.D. Martinez and Justin Upton. That's how crazy the game was. You know, 1 minute he looked like he was going to work his way out of the game by hitting guys or walking guys, and then he strikes 2 of the toughest hitters in the lineup out. And then just when it looks like he's going to survive, boom, the 2-run single.
Well, the more opportunities you give, the sooner or later something is going to happen. And that's the way this game has gone today. And they've done it in bunches. You know, when we always say crooked numbers, it's tough to come back from. They put 3 on the board twice, they put 2 on the board once, and they've had a single run in the 6th.
Well, the biggest difference when you, well, I guess you can look at it 2 ways. When you look at the 2 teams and how they've matched up this year, the Indians have outscored them by a ton, but that goes back to starting pitching. The Indian starters ERA was under 3 coming into today. The Tigers ERA was over 8 for starters. So today they didn't get the quality start they were looking for. Actually, neither team did. Upton takes off. Ibar slaps it foul. The Royals come to town on Tuesday night. It's a 3-game series. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the White Sox are here next weekend to wrap up the final homestand of the year. That pitch misses outside. Full count. Great seats remaining for all 3 of these games coming up against the defending world champs. Tomlin Volquez on Tuesday night. Kluber, Ian Kennedy. Great matchup on Wednesday night. And then Clevenger Vargas will wrap up the series on Thursday night. Hope to see you down here at the ballpark as the Indians close in on a Central Division title. Ground ball to Kipnis. Looks at second, but no play there with Upton moving on the pitch. And there are 2 down.
Now batting for the Tigers.
You know, when I talked to Terry before the game, he didn't have that. And again, this, I wasn't coming in with a camera or anything of that nature. I just went in to talk to him about, hey, you know, how does this kind of, where do you go from here with losing Carrasco? He could have given me the, you know, really down in the dumps kind of attitude, and I wouldn't have shared that on the air. But I was really kind of pleasantly surprised with just how upbeat he was. Sure, he's not thrilled to lose Carlos Carrasco, but I got no sense whatsoever that he felt like they can't overcome this. Now, maybe that's just his general positive demeanor as being the captain of the ship. Look, guys, we can still do this. But he told me, oh, look, in the playoffs, you're only going to use probably 3 starters anyway. We'll piece it together from there. We'll find a way to get this done.
You find a way. First of all, you get to the playoffs and you find a way to get it done. He's right. Hey, it's a hit. It was a hit with Salazar. Now this one comes, and boy, it doesn't feel any better. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter when you lose anybody at this time of the year. When you're in a position like the Indians are, it's just. But that's their mantra, man. They're going to go out and they're going to give you everything they have as long as they can. You'll get their best.
There's only 5 golden tickets that go out in the American League. You get one of them, you've got a chance.
Yeah,
that's all you can ask for. Off-speed pitch, clobbered to left. Geyer makes the moving catch to end the inning. But all J.D. Martinez makes it hurt. 3-run homer. And the Tigers lead it by 4. Some command problems. He hit Cabrera on the head. He let one loose, and Kinsler got hit on the head. And then in the same inning, he got Victor Martinez on the knee. Tigers responded by trying to hit Rajai Davis, but Daniel Norris not very good at that. He threw it behind him. So warnings were issued. Both teams, no further incidents with the exception of Ian Kinsler, who was ejected for what we're not sure. He said something to the home plate umpire that got him tossed. So we come to the bottom of the ninth with the Indians down 9-5, and Francisco Rodriguez came on to get Santana in his first appearance of the year against the Indians, because the Tigers just haven't been in a position to use him in any of the games up till today.
I think he feels a little better about the situation coming out now with a 4-run lead.
The one win Detroit had against Cleveland prior to this lead was a blowout win, so they didn't need him in that one.
Yeah, it was 12-run win that the Tigers had right here. It was the final game of the series. It came back on July 5th. No, excuse me, July 6th.
Ground ball right after shortstop Iglesias. One away in the ninth. We'll get a pinch hitter here, Lonnie Chisenhall. We haven't seen him in a while. He's been dealing with a lower abdominal injury.
Number 8,
Last night it was a sort of a bit of gamesmanship. Terry Francona put him in the on-deck circle to get Brad Osmus to go to the bullpen, and it worked. But Chisenhall never appeared at the plate. So now he'll actually get in at bat. Out of play. It's one of those moves last night where managers, after the game, they'll always say, well, I knew he wasn't really going to do that anyway. I knew he was going to still use the other guy, so my move, okay. And I'm sure they do think about that in the dugout. That's what the bench coach is for. Everybody's looking over every move.
You pick and you choose. All right, what situation do you want? You know, they know their situations, what hitter they'll use for the most part.
And Arch, when you've got bloated rosters, you know that just because he's bringing Lonnie to the on-deck circle, he's got 14 other right-handed hitters he could still use if you go to the bullpen. So you know that's probably going to happen. Now, in a regular matchup where you don't have the extra men, that's when it gets a little more intriguing, because you don't want to burn a guy if he doesn't even get it to swing a bat in a game.
Yeah, that won't be done. You know, you don't have the guys to do it.
Unless it's that one shot where you're really going to try to go for broke, but you're still rolling the dice. And a strike to Abraham Almonte, who's 1 for 3. Drove in a run back in the first, or in his first at bat. It was in the second inning. It was a 2-out RBI hit. The Indians had a 2-0 lead, and it looked like they were about to go out and run away to another sweep. But in the third, this game took a turn, and the Indians, while they made it close, could never get back on top. And then here in the ninth, the 3-run homer all but put it out of reach. But there's still an out to give. So Almonte is in the hole here, 0-2. Strikes out on 3 pitches, and that ends the ball game. The Tigers avoid the sweep. They take the finale by a final score of 9-5. So the Indians' magic number stuck on 7, as the Tigers will leave town 7 games back of the Indians. Detroit goes to 79-70 on the year. The Indians 86-63. Winning pitcher Daniel Norris, he's 3-2. The loss to Trevor Bauer, he's now 11-8 on the year. 21,382 watched the finale here today, and the series, as I mentioned earlier, drew over 70,000. And now the Kansas City Royals come to town tomorrow, and the Indians have to be ready to meet that challenge as they try to wrap up the Central Division title, ideally before they hit the road on their last road trip of the year.
Yeah, well, you've got all week long here. Detroit's going to go on. They're going to play Minnesota after an off day tomorrow. The Indians are going to be off tomorrow. We'll take on Kansas City when they come in there. So, hey, 2 out of 3. Can't beat that. That's what you strive for when you start the series. They did a great job yesterday. So we will see. We'll see Kansas City on Tuesday night.
Off day tomorrow. We're back with you Tuesday night to open up that series. So for Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. Thanks for watching the final today. Detroit 9, Cleveland 5. Stay tuned for Indians Live with Alan Jensen coming up next.